Crap. Is the sound off? I'm sorry. Look at that. I still had it set on the settings from before. That's okay. I was chit-chatting to other people. That was a private conversation. You guys are not allowed to hear any of it. That's how I start the show now, by talking to people who aren't there. That's what I'm sticking to it. Thanks. Oh, gosh. I'm seeing now the audio is coming through. There's always a delay. I was trying to find a way to block out, to pop out. Yeah, I'm a total pro streamer. I'm trying to pop out the chat room so I can put it over here where I can look at it and see much more eye-liney to talk to you guys. And it's not so much. I'll work on it as we go. So forgive me if I'm a little late on chat things these days. I wish it was, let's see, maybe I could do, let's see, layouts. What is this? Layout editor. Recording previous something. Take this guy, and I guess it doesn't allow me. Editor, add a tab. All right. Nope, I'm not gonna be able to do that. All right, back to where I was. Back to work. Come on, I got a show to do. For crying out for Pete's sake loud. Good grief. So, many of you have seen the Piers Morgan super clip that was put out of Sweaty Trump being very angry with his own former friend, and pretty hilarious. Oh, let's see. This chat I can pop out and just throw it over here, and then bury it. I don't need to look at this. And since then, because you know, a lot of it we think of it as like in real time, but he did this a few days ago. And then, you know, it took them a little while to throw their little version of shit together and yada yada. And there's got to be a thing. Where are my chats? Where's my chats? Get out of here. There's, you know, in between when shit hits the fan and the next opportunity for shit to hit the fan, people continue to do things. You know, MTG goes out and does these little, you know, press gaggles where she says something really nuts. But by the time you said it, you're like, or you've seen it, she said a bunch of other shit worse, or has gotten blowback internally from her own people, so that before, this is Marge, this is really going to hit the fan. I'm just letting you know. And she's either decided she doesn't care, or she's doubling down on it, or she's just angry. Like, these kind of things happen. So this is insofar as I know, this is the first public outing of Trump. Certainly, I mean, this is live. This is today, since the trailer and obviously the interview itself with Piers Morgan has landed. So I'm very excited. You're very excited. Obviously, this will probably eat up a good portion of the show, and I apologize. We've gone from rallies to him interrupting weddings and stuff at Mar-a-Lago to basically a mix of the two. Right Side is covering this, and it says awaiting President Trump in Florida. Oh my God, that's how they let you know it's not really him. It's a QAnon code. This isn't really him. They're still waiting for him. This is just JFK in the rubber suit. That's my theory. By the way, you're watching HAL SPARKS Mega Worldwide. Please like and subscribe, support the show, spread it around. Next week, Tuesday night, I will be singing at the Ukraine Relief Jam at the Whiskey, and then the next night, I will be doing a Nerd Halen show, and I will be joining a jam after that, singing a Kiss song. So I'm going to be unable to speak probably on Thursday. So enjoy it while you can. And I just realized I have a podcast that I have to do as a guest on that day as well next week. That's going to be fun. Anyways, I'll just sound like I'll do the whole thing as Alex Jones. So shall we check in? Shall we check in on this? Oh, and thank you for subbing, guys. We're getting our sub numbers are getting up. It really did help to let you guys know how few people sub, considering the followers on Twitch. Apparently that reminder helps. So I'm glad that worked. Thank you, subs. Thank you, patrons. I am also, by the way, Patreon people, I am working on a way to show you guys in the credits and show a little like marker thing like this for you guys. So that's a little more complicated because some of these things are built in and some of them take a little tickety tack. and none of them look good. So I'm trying to find one that's a good solution, just so I can constantly, put up some of our long form Patreon people and give them a salute. So yeah. Anyways, all right, there you go. Thank you. As Joe Biden says, thank you. Not unlike Trump, who says, I want to thank you, which just is self-congratulatory bullshit. Okay, here we go. And by the way, hold on. If he's playing son of a bitch, now I got to block the audio because.
Thank you very much.
There you go.
Thank you. It's a great song, but we'll cut it short and we'll make the speech a little bit longer.
It's a great song. I don't want to wander around. I can't pretend to come from a helicopter anymore.
And if you have anything to say, don't bother. Just interrupt me. Just don't worry about it.
Why couldn't I have had a ticket to that? Is that the rule from now on? Is that like a vampire letting him cross your vestibule? From now on, I'm just going to take that as the order. So anywhere I am that he is, like that ever happens. Because I don't golf with people who cheat. So I don't really.
But I want to thank Kevin.
Trump is loud and I am quiet. Okay, I will turn myself up. Hold on one second. Oh yeah, you're right. My audio is down for some reason. What happened? There you go. Check. Oh, that's loud. Hey, is that better? You guys better? Thank you. That's better. And then I'll bring him down a touch, a tad, a wee bit. Let's see.
It's going to be so incredible. I know that for a fact because I know what he did and where he came from, and he's going to be outstanding. And congratulations to his very exciting new role and a very important role.
Congratulations to his new role. Or for his new role. I don't know. At this point, I'm just going to assume the flubs are written into the teleprompter because they're all QAnon code.
And thanks also to Kevin's wonderful, young, handsome Wesley Coopersmith. Because where's Wesley? He's great. He's going to do a job. But he'll never be Kevin, right, Kevin? Because if he is, right, you know that story, right? You can't allow that to happen. That's right. He has better hair than you, Kevin. Is that right? Kevin's sort of acknowledging.
Jesus Christ. This is what's weird. He's got like a son and they like talk to each other. And you can't be bigger than the old man. You just have to, basically the goal is to have your children die before you, preferably of something disfiguring so that they're less attractive than, they're laughing. They're laughing at me.
Anyway, both great people. They're great people.
But the son's not as great as the father just because that can't be allowed to happen. Right, Eric? Eric's here somewhere. Is Eric here? I never know where Eric is.
They're going to do tremendously. Let me also express my gratitude for Heritage Board Chairman Bob Van Andel Gaby.
Bob Van Andel Gaby. Is that how it's said? Bob Van Andel Gaby.
I love that name.
Yeah, I can tell.
Where are we, Bob? Where are we?
Oh, he's in the Van Andel Gaby section.
What a name. I love that name.
I can't say it. It's very weird. But yeah.
Thank you very much. I got it okay. I practiced that one a little bit.
A little bit.
And Barb, Steve Moore is so fantastic. And Steve, I want to thank you very much because you've been there right from the beginning. Wanted to put him on the Fed, and we just about got there.
Yes, that defines a lot of things you did during your presidency. Just about 2 weeks away. He was 2 weeks away from being on the Fed.
But some extraneous things happened, meaning very unfair things. But we'll do it again, except at a higher level, okay? I promise you that. And I mean it, too.
What, are you going to be emperor of the world? Leader of the free world, wasn't it? I'm going to run to UN. I'm running for UN. Super duper guy.
A friend of mine and a man of great courage and just a really terrific person, especially when you see what's happening on our border. Tom Homan. Tom is just amazing.
Is he the guy who made it an open border and is the reason fentanyl is apparently pouring across the border that I've heard? it's gotten just terrible. Was it his idea to build the wall the way you built it? Because it doesn't work and it's porous and it's a slat fence and anybody who wants to can get under it or around it. Apparently, he's doing a great job. Apparently, the border's never been worse, but this is the guy in charge of it. Doesn't that kind of tie your hands a little bit when you shit on the border like that? And then you got to introduce people from CPB, apparently, that are still big boosters and go, the border sucks ass. He still works there, but...
And likewise, Mark Morgan, right from the beginning, has been with us. Mark, where is Mark? Mark, thank you. Thank you, Mark. Great job. Those two great people. And so many other incredible patriots in the room. Is that Sean? I think so. Yeah, we stand up. You know, now he's a movie star. That hair is so perfect. I think, he did a hell of a job, too. And they appreciate it now, really, a lot. And he danced very well, too. We were putting in those Trump votes. We almost got you to the end, right? We almost got you to the end.
We were putting in those Trump votes. Yeah, that doesn't sound like a Freudian slip about the fraud he bought. Oh, shit. Now I got to get out my thing. Otherwise, I'm going to get shut down everywhere. Where is it? Okay, meme board. Oh, no, that's take this guy out real quick. And then, if I may, yeah. What? There we go. Thank you. Thanks very much. Just kidding. Just kidding, everyone. Thank you. Thank you. It's not real. Not real. Just saying. This is the. Hold on. I've got to move this thing over to where I can see it. Yay. So I can do. Yeah. So. We were shoving in we were stuffing those ballot boxes for you, Sean, and we almost got you there, but I just didn't buy enough because I thought I was going to win. It's true. I didn't really, we thought we were going to get you there, but apparently I should have bought about 20% more from that Chinese panda semen ballot farm that I hired to, yeah, it's true. Honest to God.
But you did a great job.
Happy birthday, Anthony.
It's a true honor to join you this evening. For nearly 50 years, this legendary institution, which is what it is.
Which is what it is. I love when they describe something and then he agrees with the description.
Has been at the forefront of the conservative movement, helping lead the fight.
There's punctuation in there for a reason. I'm just saying.
To defend our cherished American history, culture, and traditions. Everyone here tonight, very special people, is united by the same key ideas and the same core values. We believe that the Declaration of Independence and the American Constitution represent the pinnacle of human civilization. Our founding documents are not a source of shame, they are a source of pride. And
yeah, I don't have a problem with that so far. This is these assholes trying to claim it for themselves. Never mistake the kind of faux patriotism you hear from this asshole or the Heritage Foundation. The stuff they say about the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, and all that kind of stuff. Don't lay any of their association with it at on the responsibility of the documents themselves. These assholes are trying to claim this for themselves. Therefore, if you support those ideas, which we all do, then you're somehow on their side. That's what the Heritage Foundation is all about. Like they're trying to claim, it's like when they claim freedom, but unless you're a woman and you want to know, choose what to do with your own body, or a group of citizens in a city decides that ghost guns are a bad idea. That kind of freedom is verboten.
Great pride.
Maybe he's going to run on like the Confederate Constitution next time. Maybe that's what he's talking about, because there's a bunch of heritage folks that lean that direction as well.
We believe that the United States of America is the greatest republic in the history of the world. In America, the people do not answer to the politicians. The politicians answer to the people.
That's so weird. Yeah. So what you're telling me is like, if you're the leader of the country, the people can vote you the fuck out. That's amazing. If only I'd known we had that power. That's incredible.
That's the way it's supposed to be.
I agree. That's why you're not president anymore.
We reject the discrimination and oppression of so-called equity, and we embrace
where the little bunny fuck yous in the actual teleprompter. Equity.
The eternal principle of equality under the law.
Look at that. We did it, folks. We made them claim equality. Now they're stuck with it. Equity meaning everybody has skin in the game. We effectively all as citizens have the same rights, and we have the same, in deference to their parlance, God-given rights under the Constitution. We all have equity in this giant mortgage that is, how the country runs and operates and exists. That's what the equity thing is. They think it means that we want to tamp down everybody's successes so that they're all equal. No winners, just all a group, like a sea of averages, making everybody a loser. This is all semantics anyways. But what has happened is that these assholes are like, equality. We like equality. We don't like equity anymore. We were trying to get them to say equality for a long time.
Law and order, thank you. So true. Law
So
and order
true.
must be upheld without bias or prejudice, and the Constitution means what it says as written.
What it says as written. So, certain people are 3/5 of a person, and quartering soldiers is super important. Also, everyone who has a gun should register it with the government because a well-regulated militia is necessary to... All right.
We condemn censorship, blacklisting, and cancel culture because we know...
Because one of them has the word black in it, for one.
...that the lifeblood of a free society is free speech, which is being taken away from us very rapidly.
Yeah, but in all fairness, Truth Social is failing on its own.
In case you haven't noticed, very rapidly.
Is it? Did it all happen at once? I thought it was sort of a slow bleed. Oh, by the way, yes, you're right. He is speaking at a microphone in front of a group of people with teleprompters that is being filmed and released on YouTube in this particular instance, but a myriad of other sites as well. Just in case you thought his free speech was being limited by government action, which is what the Constitution protects you against. By the way, organizations also have free speech, and the Republicans used to be for this all the time, especially when it dealt with the whole speech is money, money is speech thing. And apparently now, though, they believe in the government's ability to force speech upon private citizens and businesses. Yeah, you have to have everybody. Yeah, you can't have standards.
We don't have a free press or a fair press, and free speech has been eroded, but we're going to get it back. We believe that America is a sovereign nation with a sovereign people.
You know what? They always talk about free speech being eroded. Maybe we should tell them that the erosion is caused by climate change. Maybe they'll start giving a shit.
People, which means that we must have strong, secure, sovereign borders.
They're in Florida, by the way. They're surrounded by water.
Not what we have.
Oh, look at this. Trump, down here at the bottom, it says, Trump releases audio exposing Piers Morgan's deceptively edited interview. Oh, boy. Show the whole thing. Show it all. I love that that's in there. Did he really release the audio? Hold on. Shit. 1 second. Trump releases... Whoops. Audio of Piers. That should be. Audio appears to refute claim he walked out of the interview over 2020 questions. Full audio reveals Morgan thanked Trump and wrapped up despite deceptively edited video. Okay, here it is. Mediaite releases audio of doctored. There we go. This is. Hold on. Oh, the audio. Why not the video?
Because they're not going to do that.
We're an hour in, so we need to wrap.
A few quick questions and then.
Thank you.
One of the big questions being put to lots of politicians right now is, what is a woman?
I'm not going to respond to the question, but a woman is somebody that swims at a certain time and doesn't get beaten by 38 seconds by some.
Holy shit. Just in case you didn't hear that, quit. A woman is a person that swims at a certain time and doesn't get beaten by 36 seconds. Fucking hell. Legally, don't act on that, folks. You cannot tell whether someone is a woman based on their swimming time. Otherwise, anybody who didn't qualify for the Olympics in swimming is now a woman. And I don't feel right taking scholarships away from girls.
Wasn't even a good swimmer as a male.
One of the other questions about potentially running again is you've been in that pressure cauldron. Of the
Hold on,
White
it's really
House,
quiet.
your family. They all come under huge attack. The children, your wife Melania. Would you be happy to put them back in there? Would they be happy to be back in there?
Well, I won't get into that, but I will tell you they all love the country, and we did a great job. I did a great job as president. We had, I think, the best numbers probably of any, even the rebuilding of the military, the right to try. Every single thing we did was a home run.
Again, this is a bunch of needle drop bullshit that from the rallies.
And then we did incredibly warp speed when this China virus came.
Oh, God damn it. I don't have my soundboard. All right. I owe you guys a Operation Fart Steed.
Amen. You did a
Are
great
you
job.
glad that the vaccine program worked? I know that I was surprised, I'll be honest, but I was pleasantly surprised that you came out and said that you'd not only been fully vaccinated, but you thought other people should be too.
Well, we saved tens of millions of lives.
Okay, so this is the whole, like, let me see, hold on.
This would have been the Spanish flu of 1917 had we not come up. One of the reasons he's acceptable, the big easy, right? But Ernie and the other pros started jumping up and down in the air. And I said, why are you guys so excited? He says, because we don't see hole-in-ones. They make, I guess, one every 3 turns.
Hole in one.
Okay.
That was a great interview.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Bring the camera over.
Sarah, you should be.
The mic's off too.
Very okay, so deceptively edited interview with fool Piers Morgan. He hasn't released the interview yet. That was an ad for what happened. Trump clearly got up and said, turn the camera off. You can hear him say it in that. He says so dishonest when he's leaving. And I think we're all going to find out that the whole point where he stood up and left is either the tail end of that or earlier, and then he sat back down like the wuss he is. Anyways, so that's fascinating. That little thing came across. It doesn't expose Piers Morgan's deceptively edited interview. The interview isn't even out yet. The interview doesn't come out till, what the fuck, till Monday?
We have now, Tom, right? Not
Oh,
what
shit.
we have now. So sad to watch what's happening to our country.
Yeah.
And we believe that economic security is national security. We believe that America is safe.
Oh, for fuck's sake. He got his list of judges from the Heritage Foundation. He got his list of talking points from them there, too. I wouldn't doubt if somebody at the Heritage Foundation drafted up this speech for him.
And the world is calm when America is strong. We want peace through strength. We believe that the first duty of government is to protect and defend the interests of its own citizens. In other words, to put America first.
Yeah, but not the idiot's version of America First, like isolationist bullshit where we're not important in the world, or if we jack up trade deals or jack up tariff situations to the point where it actually fucks us on trade in the long term. Where, again, his version of America First, interestingly enough, it was predicated on the idea of short-term gain. Think of Trump as the hedge fund of a fund called America First that shorts a good portion of America and has like puts on parts of America. Right? Does that make sense?
We believe that America's destiny depends on upholding the Judeo-Christian values and principles of our nation's
Name one.
founding.
Name one. Say a Judeo. Here's the thing. I don't have a problem ultimately with people of faith, and he's not one, but you get my point, saying, the Heritage Foundation people viewed themselves as such, saying, Judeo-Christian values, and we have the Judeo-Christian values. But if you're going to bring them up, state one. He never does. And you know why he doesn't? Because he doesn't observe any of them. They would make him a laughing stock.
And above all,
yes, America first, the NFT. That's a great way of putting it, Schmoopy. Don't forget to like and subscribe, give a thumbs up, support the show. HAL Sparks Mega Worldwide.
we know that freedom is not a gift from government. Freedom is a gift from God.
Well, it's not an option. Freedom isn't given to you by God automatically. And if it's a gift, apparently somebody can, ask the Ukrainians, somebody can try and take it away from you and put a gun to your fucking head. The government's responsibility is to maintain that freedom for you, is to protect you from the loss of that freedom, in theory. So as much as it might be a gift from God, government in a lot of ways and the rest of society wraps the fucking thing, puts it under the tree, makes sure nobody takes it before Christmas morning. And again, what the fuck are you clapping for? Because he said God is responsible for something that government isn't? This is such a hack concept. You know, roads are not the creation of the Department of Transportation. They are a gift from God. We have a right to roads. Granted, the Department of Transportation does play a role.
There are traditions that have sustained and strengthened our country through nearly 250 years. And when I say strengthened, I mean really strong.
You know, if it wasn't for Thanksgiving, my belly would not be able to push the table away whenever I try to stand.
It's held it together. I don't think there's ever been a time where our country has been in a position like it is today, and it's very, very sad to see.
Again, whatever. This whole, it sucks. A bunch of the people that are working there actually do have jobs in government, so I wonder how they feel being supporters of his. It's never been this bad. Well, I went to work this morning and did my fucking job. You don't have a job in the government anymore.
Very, very sad to see. Yet today, each of these principles is threatened like never before. They're under assault by a radical left movement that seeks to demolish everything this organization exists to defend.
What would those things be? Besides the things that aren't yours that you laid claim to. Notice how everything that's a gift from God is something that you see all those gifts from God? That's us. We do that. That's us. I'm God's emissary for your rights. Everybody else's that upholds them or creates a system that functions to try and protect you, that's obviously they're against you.
The greatest danger to America is not our enemies from the outside. The greatest danger is the destruction of our nation from within.
Well, yeah, we're not currently being invaded by a physical force. But the level of that danger is actually pretty fucking small.
But while the challenges for our country may loom large, our opponents are far weaker and more vulnerable than they appear, and we are far stronger than anyone can fully understand.
Yes, I guess I don't fully understand your strength because it looks like weakness to me, both in cognitive ability, electioneering, and of course your ability to actually govern and get anything fucking done. I wish could you explain that to me? I would like to fully understand how strong you are, but every time I look at 2 weeks, you'll tell me in 2 weeks. Okay, cool.
I stand before you today bearing a simple message.
Well, in deference.
As long as America First conservatives have the courage to fight boldly for an agenda that defends American workers, American families, and America's glorious cultural inheritance, then the radical left will lose and we will win bigger than anyone thought possible.
Honestly, okay. Everything is bigger than anyone thought possible. Like that phrase is starting to grate on me. Seriously. Yeah, no, you're right, P. Matta. This speech is like Al Gore with a head wound. But that no one has ever seen before and ever, the greatest no one even can imagine. It's unbelievable, not possible.
Over the past 15 months, Americans have been horrified by the cascade of total disaster. Inflation is the highest in 40 years, and it's going much higher.
No, it isn't, and it's not inflation. It's supply shock. Fuck off. Sorry
to inform you of that. Steve, I think you can say that perhaps better than anybody.
Good. We'll bring him up and have him explain it, because I would like to. I have a couple of questions myself, and you've already said I can speak up whenever I want. So I don't feel bad. Maggots, any of the trolls who are watching today, I can't feel bad about interrupting and taking a giant dump on this dude's shoulder, considering he gave me permission in the beginning.
But it's going much higher.
It's going much higher. That inflation, it's a spicy meatball.
Gas prices are now $4, $5, or even $6 a gallon, and likewise, they're going much higher. It was $1.87 just a very short time ago.
Yes, and when no one was driving. It was negative $36 a barrel. So fucking what? And by the way, production hasn't changed. I got news for you. The hedge fund people who do oil are concerned about the oil price going up a tad higher and then cratering when production goes back to normal, because it will.
Think of that, $1.87, and we had so much we didn't know what to do with it.
Yeah, do you think that what happened to that? Do you think because we haven't stopped production in the United States? Do you think maybe another country that supplies a good portion of the world stopped supplying that part of the world, or they stopped taking it to a great extent, and taking 1/5 of the world's oil supply out might make the price of a commodity go up? Or, I'm sorry, you were telling us America sucks, right?
Our border is being overrun by millions of illegal aliens from...
excuse me, at last count, according to Debbie Lasko, billions, a billion people in the last 6 months.
Over 140 different countries.
Yeah, and you know what that means. Three of them are okay, but the rest of them are all dirty.
Countries that many people have never even heard about.
Yes, we understand you. You're always shocked when somebody... I swear to God, if you walked up to Trump at Mar-a-Lago with an accent and just said, I'm from Gasavonia. It's a little country on the Mediterranean. We have a GDP of about $4 trillion a year, but we are very small. Gasavonia is one of the... You should come visit. He'd go, well, I've never heard of Gasavonia. We have wonderful... My cousin, he's originally Gasavonian, of course, but he lives in Frankfurt-Dagestan. Frankfurt-Dagestan is a former Soviet bloc country that is now on its own, and is an island. And it's mainly what they do is they reanimate flesh. Mm-hmm.
We have no idea who these people are, where they come from. There's no checks. There's no balance.
Wait a minute. You're telling me that we don't pre-check people who sneak into the country? Well, we got to fix that.
There's no nothing. They just stream into our country by the millions. We now have the weakest border in history. And just 1 year ago, a little more, we had the strongest border.
Well, yeah, a little more.
In the history of our country.
Yeah, a year ago, Biden was still president. So, yeah, you're forgetting. Somebody needs to update these speeches.
Strongest that we've had in American history, and that included drugs, and it included all of the other things that come into our country.
Also, proving a negative, I call bullshit, period.
Country that is so bad, human trafficking, mostly in women, and it was at record lows, and now it's at record highs. Nobody's even keeping count anymore.
Yes, no one counts. No one is counting the people who sneak through uncounted. It's almost like your presidency. It's almost like if you let people slip through so they can go work at Mar-a-Lago, you don't even have to make how many people did you see go by today? I was looking this way. Oh, okay, cool. Well, mark 0.
So bad.
Mark it 0. Am I the only one here who gives a shit about the rules?
It's become so bad. Our communities are under siege from a bloody wave of violent crime with murders, the highest in nearly 30 years. Our children are being
by percentage
indoctrinated in school with wicked anti-American ideologies and demented left-wing gender theories.
Ugh, it's almost as if I'm just reading these parts because the Heritage Foundation is paying me by the talking point.
Our nation has been humiliated in Afghanistan,
terrible,
where we had soldiers killed, left American hostages behind, and left $85 billion in American military hardware, the best anywhere in the world.
Oh, fuck this business.
They handed it over to the Taliban. They weren't even expecting it. They just got it. We surrendered. We surrendered. And remember, for 18 months, think of it, for 18 months, not one American soldier was killed. I spoke to the leader of the Taliban.
Oh, God.
Abdul. I said, Abdul, I won't tell you exactly, but I said, don't do it. And they didn't do it. They didn't do it. 18 months until that hard.
Also, for the record, fucko, how would you know, even if they did? Because well, I guess technically he wasn't president anymore when we left. But also, if anybody was killed, he had stopped going to the dignified transfers in his first year.
Horrible day where 13 soldiers were killed, and nobody was the ones that were so badly, horrifically injured, no arms, no legs, just blown to pieces for no reason whatsoever.
Well, no, they had a reason. They were religious lunatic trying to commit an act of atrocity, and members of the Taliban, the guys you were making deals with, allowed them through because they wanted to scare people, Afghans specifically, from leaving the country because they were experiencing an enormous brain drain that goes on to this day. Same thing that's happening in Russia right now. And so they let that person through to blow everybody up so that they would scare people away from trying to escape. And our people were trying to facilitate the crunch at the airport because you didn't get anybody out of the country in those lead-up months that you should have. You made a deal for an exit and then did none of the prep. None of it. Those deaths are on Trump. End of story. Come at me, bro.
China no longer respects us. Iran no longer fears us. And with...
Well, they don't have to fear us. We're making a deal with them, hopefully, that will help normalize their culture. You know, the British used to ski there.
Their monstrous invasion of Ukraine, Russia showed just how weak they think our leaders are.
And boy, did they fuck around and find out.
They would never have done that under the Trump administration.
First of all, they were fighting in the Donbass region and the areas around Crimea the entire time. That never stopped. They were always trying to salami slice. They were just counting on this fucker to let them have it.
Should never, not even a possibility.
That should never even, not even a, what? Sorry, run that by me again, dum-dum. What was the phrase again? Hold on. Does this? Can I, let's see. What would be the controls for this? I'm gonna have to work on, there you go.
Under the Trump administration, never, not even a possibility.
Which is just bullshit, more proven negative. Also, he was basically giving them the tacit approval.
Not even a possibility. This is the most dangerous period in the history of our country. Right now, in my opinion, is the most dangerous in the history of our country. Never before has our world been so unsafe. And that's because of the massive power of weaponry. The weaponry today is at a level that nobody's ever seen before.
Get the fuck out of here. What do you mean the level of weaponry? We were, all during the Cold War, there were 6,000 nukes pointed in both fucking directions. When does he think this shit started? They have drones now that can drop ballistic missiles that have a range of like trillions of miles. And
we have it, and others have it. But
by the way, he means hypersonic. He calls it super duper.
There's never been anything like it. I rebuilt our military. Spent $2.5 trillion, and we redid the nuclear capability. We had weapons that didn't even work. We had weapons that nobody had any idea if they did work.
Yeah, and now they get to test them. What?
And everything is either new or renovated, and it's an incredible.
Yes,
it's an incredible thing that.
Just saying, all of our nukes now have dormers on them and brand new backsplash. The HGTV show about our nukes is just, I start watching it on a Saturday afternoon and I just can't stop.
We did, but you just hope to God we never have to use them. But now the word nuclear is being thrown around like it's candy.
I don't know. I have not heard anyone worry about the use of tactical Reese's Pieces in Ukraine. I'm just saying. Yes, they have, some people say red vines, others say they're traveling, if you look on the back of the Russian tanks, you can see they have giant Toblerones.
And you can't do that.
Oh, shit! They gave it the hook! Oh, do you think these fuckers made it private? Removed by the uploader. Oh, yeah, because they know they're going to get it yanked down. So they just do it as a live stream and then they dump it. They basically get the money out. Oh, shit. Oh, and we got to end on nuclear like candy. That's just adorable. All right, hold on. I'm not so easily swayed. Whoops, hold on. Just a bunch of there you go. Close. Go away. Hold on. Get in here. And This is here. What the hell?
Into these organizations. These are people that...
What the hell? That's not the show, you bastards. Okay, they pulled it on Rumble as well. You bastards. All right, hold on. They'll post it again later. Well, here, you know what? By the way, you're watching HAL Sparks Mega Worldwide, and I think that shows taste and breeding on your part. Thanks for all the support. Don't forget to be a Patreon supporter, patreon.com/HalSparks. That's the Venmo if you want to Venmo me. Just do it. Just take a picture of that with your phone, and if you have a Venmo account, and then just go, here's 99 cents. Here's $5 for those laughs, Hal. Boy, you deal with some stuff I wouldn't want to deal with. Here's $10. That's a great way to do it. Of course, you can support the show in a myriad of other ways. I get embarrassed talking about them, so I'm going to stop now. All right. It's funny that it's almost like thank you, Snake of Christ. It's almost as if the all-seeing eye above us is looking down and gloating as it shuts Trump off right as he says they're throwing around the word nuclear like candy. And here you go, two guys who eat way too much candy throwing around the word nuclear. This is a video from Glenn Beck's show titled, "Would World Leaders Actually Consider Nuclear War?" in all caps. Boy, at 11 minutes and 52 seconds long, I don't get the feeling, as many of you, I'm sure, also refuse to believe, that this is just going to be a way for him to fucking sell prepper food. Why would I think that?
Something last night. I saw this alert last night, and I thought
that they're funding.
Hold on.
And I listened to something I haven't listened to since I was a kid.
Your parents' advice?
Listen to this. This was produced for schools.
We all know the atomic bomb is very dangerous. Since it may be used against us, we must get ready for it.
That's right. So if someone comes along trying to lure you into a van with a piece of nuclear fuel, don't do it, kids. He might seem like a friendly clown with his own construction business on the south side of Chicago, but it only takes one nuclear blast to realize that you've ended up in a crawl space.
Just as we are ready for many other dangers that are around us all.
Look at that, 1951 unsegregated classrooms. Look at that. The government's putting out videos in 1951 with mixed kids. And you assholes think you invented all this stuff. Way to go, 1951. Way to give it that old college try.
All the time. Fire is a danger.
Oh, yes.
It can burn whole buildings if someone is careless. But we are ready for fires. We have a fine fire department to put out the fire, and you have fire drills in your school so you know what to do.
First of all, that fucking fire truck is ballin'. Look at that thing.
Put out the fire, and you have
That's
fire
amazing.
drills in your school.
That's gorgeous. Can we just, electric car companies, can you guys just start making cars that look like that era again, but just make them with crumple zones and make and all the synthetic parts? They don't have to be all fucking, made out of like melted down rail line pegs or shit like that, right? Look at this. That's cool as shit. That's amazing.
So you know what to do.
Oh, I'll know what to do.
Automobiles can be dangerous too. They sometimes cause bad accidents, but we are ready. We have...
Sorry. Rarely do the cars cause the accident. Occasionally, a blown out tire will drag you into traffic. That's always a big fear. As a matter of fact, some of you may know that I witnessed an accident when I was walking to the store to buy ingredients to make cookies for a friend of mine. His mom and his sister were making cookies for a Girl Scout troop, and they needed stuff. So I said, I'll walk to the store and get them for you. And while I was walking to the store, a guy was driving down Willow Road in Chicago, in the suburbs, and his left front tire went out, and he went right into oncoming traffic and hit another car head on. It was really horrifying. And I remember very distinctly that I ran in 3 directions before I chose one. I literally did like a Mr. Bean, like where do I go? Where do I go? Because I was out in the middle of I was off the road on the sidewalk, which was away from it. And the side of the car squunched up. You guys don't need to hear this, but I'm going to tell you anyways. Side of the car squunched up and sliced it. I guess his arm was like this, and it sliced his arm off. Like that. Just took his arm off. And I remember being just so bizarrely shocked at what I was seeing. And the dude in the other car was like dazed, and it took him a minute because he I can't remember if he had because I was so focused on the arm that I couldn't remember if he had an airbag or something like that, but he was he was fine. He started he was getting out of the car, and I ran over to the car and was like looking at the guy, and he was like this, and you could see his chest moving, but his arm was kind of like stuck in the metal. You could see it was weird because the front of it was like twisted. And I remember I instinctively, it was very weird, picked his arm up and put it on the hood of the car. I don't know why. Get it out of the street, I guess. I was in high school. And I ran, there was a house right behind me. So I just turned around and I booked to the house, and I'm banging on the door like crazy. I'm like, just trying to get somebody to call 911 or something. This is pre-cell phones, kids. This is in the 80s. It was 86, 87, something like that. And I'm banging on the door, and there was a girl who was home from school sick or something. She was by herself there, and I will never forget. She was walking down the stairs holding one of like those big, super clunky cordless phones. And she'd just been on the phone, and she went, "Keep your pants on." That was her response. And to this day, that when I hear "keep your pants on" with something, I remember all of that at once. That's a true story. Keep your pants on. And I remember also in the absurdity and the scariness and the weirdness of that entire situation, that phrase seemed really out of place. You know what I mean? It stood out so much. And I was like, there's been an accident. Guys, got his arm cut off. He's probably dying. He's bleeding to death. I'm going to go up there and try to take care of it. Call 911. And she's like, oh, okay. And she goes, I got to go. And she hangs up. She did not tell the person on the phone to keep their pants on. But she hangs up immediately, calls 911. Now, the fire department where we were was less than probably a mile and a half away. So they were there, like, as I walked back up, as I ran back up to the road, because I was like, I turned around, I was like, okay, they're coming. So I'm looking this way, and I could already hear the siren. So I'm sure I wasn't the only person that had called for the, run to do, but to get 911 and get the fire department and whatever. Anyways, they were like just sirens. And it might have just been that I heard the sirens initially, but they were literally like, you could see the firehouse. If you were standing on that girl's porch, you could see the firehouse from where I was. And they rolled up on this thing and it jumped out, and they were like, they reached in there and they were like squeezing this guy's arm to hold it before they like used the jaws of life to pull it. And they were having to put pressure on this because he had a severed artery, had to be in there, like horrifying. And yeah, full alarm, right? Just everybody all at once. And I walked up there and I was like, I saw it, he had a flat tire. And they're like, get the fuck out of the way. And I was like, okay, I'll go get the cookie stuff. And I just walked to the grocery store, just kind of in a weird daze. And I bought like flour and chocolate chips and milk. and I had it in a bag. And I walked back by, and there were police there. The guy's other car had been pulled off and stuff, and I don't know how long it kind of took me to walk all the way down there and walk all the way back. But I remember going like, holy shit, they've cleared this stuff out of the way quickly. I mean, they clawed that thing open, got him the fuck out, and drove away. And then they basically just towed the car first. That was the first thing. And then the other dude's car was sitting on the side of the road, and he was being interviewed by the police. And I walked up and I was like, I was here when it happened. And they go, did you see it? The actual, the moment that it happened? And I went, yes. I heard his tire blow. I turned around. I heard a big bang. I turned around just in time to see him, like his car cross the center line and his tire all shredded, go wabada wabada like that and hit. And the guy gave me his card and he said, go home. We're cool. We've got everybody's information. If we need you as a witness, we'll call, just call me and check in. You promise? And I went, yes. And he goes, because I got to deal with this guy and he's got a concussion or some shit. I was like, okay, I just got to get this milk back before it. And so I had eggs too. It was like a cartoon. And so I take it back to my friend Jim's house where his mom and his sister were making cookies. And I sat on a stool and they're like, you okay? And I was like, I saw a guy's arm fall off a car accident up the street. She goes, yeah, we heard sirens. We weren't sure what that was. And I was like, it was a car accident. This guy's really fucked up. He's probably, I don't know if he's dead now. I don't know. I'm going to go lay down. And I went into Jim's room and passed out on his bed. I was just like, I'm going to try to thud, just from stress. And I called the cops later. And I told him my name, and I gave him my home phone number because nobody had a cell phone at that time. And they called me 2 weeks later to say the guy's in a coma, but if he ever comes out, they're gonna possibly, he had a blood alcohol level of whatever, but it wasn't, they don't know if that's determinative of the accident, only in his response because his tire did blow before it happened. And they know that, so they'll mount it up. And then, 4 months later, they called me and said he's dead. So thanks for your time. I was like, okay. I was at home making dinner for my dad. Because I was the cook at the house. And I was like, I pick up the phone, like, hello. And they're like, hey, this is the Northfield Police Department. Is this HAL SPARKS? And I was like, yes, it is. He goes, yeah, so we just wanted to inform you that the case that you were involved in won't be going forward, as the person that possibly would have been charged remained in a coma until he ceased to exist. I think he just said he passed away. So thanks very much they were like, thanks for, being readily available or whatever. It's good on you, kid. He knew I was young. So he was like, I was like 16 going on 17. And he was like, we appreciate your cooperation. That was good of you. And that stuff. And I was like, yeah, thanks. No problem. And I hung up the phone. and just went back to cooking dinner. And I remember distinctly, like, as I'm pouring the food out, I was making Benihana stir fry. And it came in bags, and I would cook my own chicken, and then I would cube it, mix it in. This is fucking rando as hell. I would cube it, mix it in with the vegetables and the sauce that came in the Benihana stir fry. You get the vegetarian stir fry, and then you just add your own protein to it. So I would do shrimp, or I would do chicken, and that's how I'd cook dinner for Dad occasionally, for he and I. And I was ladling it into my dad's. We had these big bowls that we ate out of when we would do that. And I was like, that guy in the car accident? He goes, oh, yeah, I forgot all about that. I went, he's dead. And then we just sat there and ate. It is super fucking weird. So, yes, cars can be dangerous, I guess is my point.
Safety rules that car drivers and people who are walking must.
Yes. Meow. Sorry, this is like the vacillation of this audio is weird.
Obey. Now, we must be ready for a new danger.
Yes.
The atomic bomb.
Right.
First,
Yes. It never cross against the light if an atomic bomb is coming.
you have to know what happens when an atomic bomb explodes. You will know when it comes.
Yes, you
We
will.
hope it never comes, but
Yes, you'll suddenly feel a generalized warmth, and then your skin, curiously enough, will be about 3 feet over there, followed abruptly by your muscles, your internal organs, and lastly, if the Terminator has any truth to it, your bones.
we must get ready. It looks something like this. There is a bright flash, brighter than the sun, brighter than anything you've
Brighter than anything anyone could have ever thought possible.
ever seen. If you were not ready and did not know what to do, it could hurt you in different ways.
Yikes.
It could knock you down hard or throw you against a tree or a wall. It is such a big explosion, it can smash in buildings and knock signboards over and break windows all over town. But if you duck and cover like Bert, you will be much safer. You know how bad sunburn can feel. The atomic bomb flash could
I don't know. It feels kind of nice, Ma.
burn you worse than a terrible sunburn, especially
By the way, for those of you that don't know, that's a young Glenn Beck. not him, in the dress.
where you're not covered. Now, you and I don't have shells to crawl into like Bert the Turtle, so
Well, Stu might.
we have to cover up in our own way. First, you duck, and then you cover. And very tightly, you cover the back of your neck and your face. Duck and cover underneath a table or desk or anything else.
I'm just going to go out on a limb and say that her voice doesn't match her face. I'm just noticing this personally.
Close by. In Betty's school,
And by the way, if you'll recall, I grew up with this. We had these metal desks with the wood on top. And basically what they would do is in a nuclear explosion, you would hide under your desk and then it would just melt around you and form an urn. And the wood would buckle and create a handle. And so when they would just walk through and pick up all the dead kids already in urns and little death buckets, and then they would just chuck you into a truck and deal with it later.
they are talking about the atomic bomb too. Betty is asking
Teacher, what happens if you want to be blown up by a nuclear bomb?
her teacher, how can we tell when the atomic bomb may explode? And her teacher is explaining that there are two kinds of attack, with warning and without any warning.
So you can't and you don't.
We think that most of the time we will be warned before the bomb explodes. So there will be time for us to get into our homes, schools, or some other safe place.
By the way, that's pretty high tech looking for the 50s. That one right there. Like the other shit looks like rafters on a rotating Lazy Susan. That looks like the technology you'd normally see in the 50s. This stuff looks like, if this was in color, you'd go like, this looks like space ray business.
Our civil defense workers
Charlie, we got a call coming in right now. Hold on one second. Yeah, I gotta, hold on one second. Charlie, we got an ICBM coming in around 3:30 on the 3:30. Approximately, give or take. You know, they're always slow this time of year. Yes, ma'am. No, the atomic bomb will arrive at 3:30 on time, but your baggage has been lost. I'm sorry. It'll come in later. Yes.
And our men in uniform will do everything they can to warn us before
Now, they do have shells like turtles that they wear on their heads.
enemy planes can bring a bomb near us.
Well, that's a lot of enemy planes. If there's that many enemy planes, I think we have... well, why would you nuke something? You have all that many planes nearby, they would all just fall out of the sky. EMP being what it is. Never mind. It's 50s.
You may be
If you're playing stickball,
in your school
somebody, we don't know who, is going to end up with a bat in their ass. It's just going to happen. That's the force of a nuclear explosion.
yard playing when the signal comes. That signal means to stop whatever you are doing and get to the nearest safe place fast. Always
Look at these kids all dressed for school, by the way. I'm sorry. I just think you don't have to wear uniforms, but kids should have to wear suits to school.
remember, the flash of an atomic bomb can come at any time, no matter.
Great. Good night. Go to sleep. Mom! What? A nuclear bomb can happen at any time. That's true, honey. Now get some sleep. You've got to go to school tomorrow. You're practicing duck and cover.
Where you may be.
Holy cow.
Yeah, we dealt with that. And
That's the kind of stuff that I grew up watching in school. You would have an atomic bomb thing. I don't think it was every year, but I remember going home terrified of the bomb. And you notice what they said? The bomb is so strong, it could knock you down. Yeah, kids, it'll also vaporize you.
yeah, they're not talking to the ones that are vaporized by it. And by the way, most of them, a direct hit, even on a major city, isn't going to, the majority of the damage outside the ring of where it was actually hit will be caused by fires and people fleeing the area. So that's why they did this, because obviously the people who've been vaporized aren't going to need to know or remember any of this shit. But if you saw a big flash of light and you got thrown into a field because you were 150 miles away, or at that time 60 miles away, the shock wave itself, the irradiation isn't going to kill you, the blast isn't going to kill you, but the concussion of hitting something behind you is very possibly going to harm you. So if you're one of the lucky ones and you didn't get blown to fucking smithereens, you might want to know what to do. And if you hear anything about this and you're outside, like you hear an air raid siren, but it's going to hit downtown Chicago as opposed to the north, south, west of the suburbs, something like that, or off the shore of it, or any of those other things, like areas wherever they would hit because they think, I don't know, maybe there was a freshwater submarine they were trying to hit. The point is that outside that circle, there's still a lot of damage that can happen. So that's who they're talking to. You don't talk to people who are dead. You talk to anybody who has a chance of living, which is the majority of people, even in that circumstance. Because there weren't that many of them in 1951. There weren't thousands upon thousands. We kind of gave up on it, not because the technique doesn't work for people outside the range. It's just that there's so many of these fucking things, it doesn't matter.
That's another one of the options that the whole duck and cover thing didn't ever cover.
Yeah, he thinks that's funny. Yeah, it doesn't have to because they're already dead, dum-dum.
It is just bizarre that we are sitting here at this time, and I know the heart of the American people. The American people care deeply about the people who are having their lives destroyed over in Ukraine.
Notice how they say that shit, and a lot of times they'll say that, like, there's a lot of atrocious things happening in Ukraine. A lot of people are losing their lives in Ukraine. And, like, without ever really... I mean, we'll see if he goes into the Putin stuff, but a lot of these folks, especially on Newsmax, they do a lot of this, like, it's horrible what's happening over there, which could apply to the Russians getting their ass handed to them. That's terrible. You know what I mean? Like, you could read it either way. Russell Brand does this shit too.
But none of us would say, let's get into a nuclear war. If Russia launched a nuclear missile or dropped a nuclear bomb, even one of the strategic,
tactical,
low yield nuclear bombs,
Strategy and tactics are different. It's a tactical nuclear warhead.
Anywhere except in our territory, would you be for a retaliatory strike?
Yes, if they nuked Paris, if they nuked London, if they nuked Berlin, that's not our territory. I mean, technically it's a NATO thing. Let's pick someplace else. If they nuked Dubai, the rest of the world might go, yeah, we're next. We're next. And also, I don't know what he means by our territory. I think he just means the U.S. Yes, but I'm going to go with my original statement. Yes, if they nuked Paris, you bet your ass. Of course we would. Because what do you think? We're not next? If they're willing to nuke a major city, what do you think the options are at this point? And what do you do after that? Obviously not right. Like, we're not talking about like missiles away, hallelujah, bang, just let's just all go. It's going to be more tactical than that. But there's no way we're not hitting all their ICBM sites immediately. And the only missiles we have that have the range and destructive power to take out ICBM sites are nukes. So what the fuck? Nobody wants this, but stop. But what do you mean? They can nuke the rest of the world as long as they don't hit the continental United States, Guam, and Puerto Rico?
Because this is an interesting thing. I think we've always thought of nuclear war like that, right? Nuclear war is big flashes on your home turf and massive city-destroying nuclear weapons.
Right.
And then when they fire those, we retaliate mutually assured destruction, right?
Correct.
That's the standard recipe over many decades.
Right, but now they've introduced piecemeal nuclear war. So do we really give a fuck?
Well, the new world is, of course, they have these strategic nuclear weapons.
Tactical.
That can be used on battlefields.
Everything is strategy. It's a strategy not to nuke something. Strategy and tactical are fucking hell.
It can be used for...
Nobody cares.
For all sorts of different purposes. I mean, certainly... if Russia comes tomorrow and decides, Mariupol is going to be the subject of the first usage of one of these weapons.
Dude, they've already leveled Mariupol except for the steel factory. It wouldn't be that. It would be Kiev. But notice how he's choosing Mariupol because is there anything left there? What are we really defending? A bunch of concrete and 3,500 people? Are we willing to go to war over them nuking 3,500 civilians and soldiers trapped in a steel plant? I know it's a big deal, but gas prices.
It's going to do a lot of damage there, but that would not be something the United States would advocate a nuclear response to.
If that happened, and let's say Russia hits a NATO country.
They drop one in Poland?
In Poland. Would you be for us firing ICBMs?
Yeah, and we would be bound by treaty to respond,
right, but not like that.
Yeah, right.
Right.
We would do everything we could to stay out of that, I think.
Yeah, we wouldn't use nukes anyways. The majority of it, we would definitely hit them. We'd have hypersonic missiles that are not nukes hit major strategic points inside the country. We don't need nukes. You could like Moabs and bunker busters to take out a lot of the ICBMs, but the ones deep in the country that you have to worry about, or even some of the subs.
I think,
but at least with nuclear weapons.
By the way, Trump wanted to nuke hurricanes. So, do the hurricanes have a case for retaliation? Do they have a NATO-like structure? Is there a tornado? I can't believe I just made that joke. I'm sorry.
With nuclear weapons, we would be in a war with Russia in this circumstance. I don't think there's any doubt about it. Even if you don't like the treaty, even if you don't like NATO.
You don't like, yeah, if you're one of those people that doesn't like NATO.
It would be hard to imagine the West overlooking a nuclear strike on a native country of any sort.
This is a real clear case, at least to me, I feel. Like the people of the world.
By the way, in case any of this talk is making you nervous, understand no one is. You and I are the only person listening to this. This has 14,000 views, all of them paid for. He's got fewer subscribers than Jimmy Dore does. and less than a fifth of what Russell Brand has, and they spend a shit ton of money on this network. And nobody in power is taking their cues from this dude at all, unlike yours truly. Hi there.
Are so disconnected to the leadership of the world. The leadership of the world, they're not listening to the average person.
I hope not, because some of the average people are boycotting Disney because they think it's run by pedophiles and driving around in Trump trucks. And by the way, taking a poll, most Americans support our support of Ukraine, period, like 81%. So asking the average person, they do actually support it. But how are you going to frame the question on this stupid nuclear concept that you have? Do you think we should nuke Russia? No. Do you think we should nuke Russia if they nuke someone else? What do you mean? Like Kazakhstan? No, like if they nuke Paris. Yeah. Obviously, we need to fuck them up. I don't know if we need nukes to do that, but they got to go down. You don't get to survive that.
It's all being run by these seemingly group of crazy people.
No, it isn't. Or we'd already be evaporated a long fucking time ago.
And the rest of us are sitting here going, what the hell? Where are we going? What?
That's true whenever Glenn gets into a vehicle, though.
Wait, what's happening?
Yeah, and anytime he walks into a room.
And it seems that, if God forbid something like this happens, I hope someone's around to, write down or tell, I don't know, the poor guy who's just broken his glasses sitting at the library, just wanting to read books because that's
Jesus Christ. That's from a Twilight Zone episode.
All he ever wanted to do, Twilight Zone. I hope somebody is alive to say the average person was not for this. The average person in the world knew this was madness.
Also, what the fuck are you talking about? We're not talking about a preemptive strike on Russia at all. You're talking about how people would respond to Russia nuking another country. And what needs to be written down for the lonely guy with the busted glasses who apparently can't read it afterwards because he was the last person in the world, but all he wanted to do was sit in the library and read, and then he broke his glasses like he couldn't fucking walk around and find some glasses. Jesus Christ. These aren't my prescription. Shit. These aren't my prescription. Shit. Oh, okay. These will work. This is just weird. You're supposed to write down that the rest of the world responded to a nuclear strike by somebody else with a nuclear strike of overwhelming force because of some bizarre hypothetical that these assholes can't even agree on. What city are we talking about? Put your money where your mouth is. Which city are you willing to give Russia to nuke without us doing anything about it? It's so weird. And here it is, nuclear war being thrown around like candy. And of course, here's Glenn Beck under the streaming candy going, ah, rah, rah.
Absolute madness. And in the end, what destroyed us was our leaders. It's just...
What? No, it didn't. In your scenario, Russia preemptively nuked another country, supposedly a NATO country, which we have a treaty with, which they are aware would draw all other NATO countries into. But our leaders got us into this. What the fuck? If only we would just let Russia have Ukraine, kill and rape anyone they want, then, maybe they would leave Poland, Lithuania, Latvia, Belarus, and Finland alone. No. Oh, no, they moved the tanks there. Oh, they've seized all the stuff that we gave Ukraine, and they're just going to, they're attacking. Oh, it's Germany now.
It's weird to talk about nuclear strategy because we haven't talked about it since really my generation. It's been a thing that was over. And now we're looking at it again because of Russia.
What? First of all, weren't you guys just like applauding Trump for putting dormers on the nukes?
And I just want to make it really clear. If they blew up New York City, I would expect to go outside and see missiles being launched from us towards Russia.
Where the fuck do you think you live?
I would expect that. I'd
and you'd approve of it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, in general, I mean, you'd approve of that, right? Right? If they blew up New York, I mean, you'd expect to see it, but you'd be on team retaliate for the total annihilation of 7 million people. Hi, Chip, you cannot. What you doing, buddy? Come here. Hold on. Chip wants to come up. He wants to learn about nukes. What are you doing, buddy? I will get you a snack in a little bit. I know I'm over time. He's like, it's 5. What are you doing? Hi, buddy. Oh, it's so good. Oh, it's a boy. Oh, it's a boy. Oh, it's itchy. Oh, it's an itch. Oh, it's so good. All right. Is that good? Blah, blah, blah. Oh, I love you too. Oh. Yeah. Can you give me a minute so I can finish my show and then I'll feed you? Promise? Okay? He didn't want to go anywhere. Okay, here. Hang out. Hop down. There you go. He's like, snack now. No, wait. All right. Here we go.
Bad as it is, and the result would be, if they blow up a major new U.S. city, that is why we have these weapons,
right.
And we're at full release almost.
Correct.
Certainly Moscow does not exist.
Right. If
full release. Is that the technical term? Does anybody have their Steve Bannon manual of macho military terms? Can you look that up? Full release.
they blew up, I would think we would retaliate by blowing up Moscow.
Yeah.
You think maybe? You think we'd go with why Moscow? Why not St. Petersburg or some random backwater in Siberia? This is so fucking stupid, by the way. These two dum-dums having this conversation is fucking hysterical.
Not all
Maybe
of them.
not a full release.
Yeah.
Not a full release, no. Just a it's not that kind of joint.
Oh, maybe
we would.
It would be on the table.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about it, I mean, we're sitting there. We went to 2 20-year-long wars over 2 buildings in New York City, but we'd get together on it or whatever. I mean, maybe a phone tree.
The thing that if they bombed, let's say, Warsaw, an attack on one is an attack on all of us. But I would then hope that the United States would open all those missile doors, put us on DEFCON 1, and then call up Russia and say, "What the hell are you thinking?"
Yeah, just call them up. What are you thinking? What? Step down, young man. What are you thinking? You have all right. Thank you, Fluffy Cat. Oh my gosh. Lived that. And Luis says $5 for Hamburg. Thanks for the super chats, by the way, guys. I hope I have a chance to spend them before the world is destroyed. Wes Webb says, long shot Louis, $2 if message included. Oh, thanks. Deb B, thank you so much. All Power, thank you so much. Al Powers, beg your pardon. Deborah Regan, thank you so much. I will keep it up. Fluffy Cat, thank you so much for the super chat. Midas Lisa, who became a member over at Stuttering John's show today, I think, if I saw that correctly. Lovely of you to do that. Brian, why does the app censor? I don't know that it does. Which app are we talking about? Oh, Truth Social? Oh, yeah, it's censorship social. It's hilarious. Happy birthday, Anthony. I said that earlier. I missed that one. Laura, thank you so much. Will you be covering the Trump rally on Saturday, awaiting My Pillow announcement in Ontario? Yes, I will on Saturday, for sure. No question. And also, I haven't seen anything of the My Pillow shit. CSL, if you see it, let me know. But I know what they did. They basically filed these injunctions. It's a jerk off. Like there'll probably be footage of him tomorrow at some fucking rando courthouse steps going, today we dropped off we're doing this, we're dropping off our, because they're destroying our country. Right. Anyways, back to Armageddon spankings.
And we would be at war, but let's hope that it wouldn't go to nuclear war. I mean, I would expect.
Asshole, it's already at nuclear war if they nuked Warsaw. again, this whole America First thing, TM, it drives me nuts.
That if we launched missiles in retaliation, they're going to launch missiles at us. You know?
Yeah, you think anybody knows that? You know what? You should call the Pentagon. You should make them aware of that. So they include it in their decision making. Like this fucker. He's playing a video from 1951, and then he's acting like all these scenarios aren't constantly thought about by an entire quarter of the DoD.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Yes. And so it's just then it gets into MAD, mutually assured destruction.
And of course, this world where Russia has decided to blow up a major city in Poland, is
a major city.
NATO country, is a world that's so crazy that this is going to escalate to that point almost immediately anyway. I mean, you know,
I'm like, it'll be considered, but considered immediately. Like, fuck those guys, bang.
If there's this idea that Vladimir Putin wants strategic goals in Ukraine, and he's trying to take what he wants and believes is his, and
is that a thought? Is that, oh no, that's what he actually fucking said.
And, you know, rebuild Mother Russia and all that jazz. But
and all that jazz.
The other idea is, you know, this guy is a psychopath, and whatever has changed in him over the past few years,
Pervitin,
is a change that makes him completely unpredictable. I mean, we would be delusional to believe that it stops at a nuclear weapon hitting a NATO country.
Ding, 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 Stu with the win, stumbling on the reality that Glenn can't fucking process. If we're in a position where Russia has decided to nuke Warsaw, they're already at full commitment. There is no salami slice nuclear war strategy.
Poland. Like, if this guy is that crazy, there is no containing Vladimir Putin. I mean, like, and again, like, I don't think he's going to do that, but you have to look at his actions.
Does anybody get a real ESPN vibe from this bullshit? Like they're talking about sports teams? Like the things they're discussing don't involve the evisceration of hundreds of millions of human lives, and it's just kind of like, well, we'll see. Friday's the game. We'll see.
Where he is now multiple times bringing this up. He is the aggressor here. You have to worry about how far he's willing to take this.
So we know that the leadership in Iran, they've just recently that they will now launch a nuclear missile and destroy Israel. Burn in the fires of the Islamic fury.
And we've always taken that seriously. At least we have.
Do we respond to that?
We are. We're trying to negotiate them back into a treaty where they weren't producing a missile. Hold on one second. Hi, buddy. Are you just looking into your own reflection in the side of the computer glass, silly? Yes, you are. Yes, hold on. Let's see. Iran threatens. Let's see what they're referring to. Israel. I mean, they do it all the time. 3 days ago. Now, who thinks that they're saying that Iran is saying that they're going to nuke Israel sight unseen? Fuck it. We gotta. This 3 days ago. This is what he's talking about. Does anybody think it's not the whole story? Anybody at all? Anybody? One of the. Iran threatens to strike Israel over, quote, slightest move. Iranian president says armed forces would retaliate strongly if Iran's security is threatened by Israel. Iranian President Ibrahim Raisi on Monday threatened to strike at the heart of Israel if Tel Aviv makes the slightest move against Tehran, the capital. I guess they're allowed to bomb anywhere else. I guess they have their own Stu and Glenn Beck arguing these points. Speaking at a military parade marking the National Army Day, said if Iran's security is threatened by arch foe Israel, its armed forces would retaliate strongly, very strongly, like no one has ever seen. Our message to Israel is that you seek normalization of ties with countries in the region. You must know that even your slightest movements are not hidden from our intelligence, security, and military. And you must know that if you make the slightest move against Iran, the destination of Iran's armed forces will be at the heart of Israel. During the ceremony, the Iranian military displayed a range of homegrown weapons, drones, and defense systems that paraded on the outskirts of Tehran, all of which suck and can be shot out of the air, whatever. The Kaman 22, a long-range strategic drone belonging to Iran's Air Force, which is capable of carrying different kinds of cargo with a flight duration of 24 hours, was displayed for the first time. According to military officials, it has an operational range of more than 3,000 kilometers and capable of flying up to 8,000 meters in air. A series of fighter jets. It said self-reliance under pressure from U.S. sanctions says it's in the best condition today. This year's National Army Day parade came weeks after the IRGC claimed responsibility for an attack of what it claimed was an Israeli strategic center in Erbil in northern Iraq's Kurdish region. That's the bombs near the base they were talking about because Israel was set up nearby. That's what they were allegedly attacking. The attack, which involved a dozen ballistic missiles, came in the response to the killing of 2 IRGC members in Israel. In an Israeli airstrike on the outskirts of the Syrian capital, Damascus. Last week, Raisi told visiting Iraqi Foreign Minister Fawad Hussein that Iran was closely watching the actions of Israel and will not allow them to endanger the security of the region. Israel was blamed for a series of sabotage attacks at Iran's key nuclear facilities and the killing of a number of leading Iranian nuclear scientists. This is what they've been arguing about for a long time. Just in case you think what Iran is saying is that they're just going to, as soon as they get a nuke, it's flying. That's what these assholes want you to think.
We don't,
and that we're okay with that. And that we're somehow helping with that.
We don't respond with nuclear weapons, right? Look, there's a little secret that Israel might be able to do that on their own.
Yeah.
That's just a rumor,
keep using that word.
Again, what the fuck? He likes using that quote. You keep using that quote, and I do not think it means what you think it means.
Secret.
But I wish we would do more of the Israel nuclear treatment thing with what we're doing in Ukraine.
I know.
We just had Joe Biden while we were talking. It was on television saying we're putting $800 million of weapons into Ukraine to, obviously, what do you do with these weapons? Kill Russian troops who did invade Ukraine.
Right. Inside Ukraine. None of those weapons will be used to kill Russians who aren't in Ukraine. You know how you avoid getting killed by U.S. weapons held by Ukrainians defending their own country? Get the fuck out of Ukraine.
Believe me, they deserve to be fired at by Ukraine.
Fired at? What are you making them? Skedaddle! Get off my porch! What are you doing here, hornswoggling? You're trying to steal my hens.
But we're telling everyone what we're doing.
Yes, we are. Because we want Russia to know they have the backing of the entire Western world. Give or take a couple of dipshits.
Israel, I think, even at this moment, officially does not have nuclear weapons.
Right.
Officially.
Yeah.
Now, they do have nuclear weapons,
right.
Breaking news, but officially they don't.
We're not only telling them what...
And Iran doesn't have them officially. At all. For real. But that hasn't stopped Glenn and other folks like him from suggesting that perhaps Iran should just preemptively nuke Iran because they basically got them anyways. Like Iraq had yellow cake.
What we're sending, we're also telling them where we're sending it.
Yeah.
And we're telling them that, oh, by the way, Ukrainian troops are going to cross the border into Poland and our special forces are going to be there and we're going to train them. We're going to train them.
We're announcing
Yes. We're announcing every aspect of this with the very important distinction that we're training some of these folks and they're going to get some of our training, but they're fighting this on their own because they don't want the messaging to be turned on by the Russians. Hold on. That the Russians can turn on, and say they say it anyways, but they wouldn't have footage of it where we're fighting Americans, we're fighting Germans, we're fighting Polish citizens. We're not fighting the Finnish are down here, the Swedish. Everybody's ganging up on Mother Russia. Without that, they're just getting their ass kicked by Ukrainians, trained by whoever the fuck. Meanwhile, the Russians can use the Wagner group all they fucking want. These mercenaries and Chechens who, the ones that are basically like the monsters that Trump is always warning are being released from prisons all over the world across our southern border are very much the actual character of the Chechen soldiers that Russia is using over there and paying more than they pay the Russian-born soldiers. But they're getting their ass handed to them by the Ukrainians. Now we're giving them weapons, but the Russians are giving the Chechens weapons to fight the Ukrainians. They're getting Syrian mercenaries. They're giving shit to the Wagner group. They're giving them air support. They're giving them helicopters. Fuck is the difference? I'll tell you what the difference is. The only people physically fighting in this, besides individuals who have come from all over the world who've decided that, you know, they're Ukrainian at this time because they're fighting there, not in coordination with any other country, but just as they decided that the Russians deserve, the business end of their rifle. Those folks are coming of their own free will. The Chechens, the Georgians, the Syrians, the mercenaries. Those are all people Russia is bringing in from other countries to support them. Russia, the Russian military, needs soldiers from other countries to fight their war for them.
Of the weapons we're sending there. Now, like, look, if you're going to do that, a news broadcast to the world is not a great place to do it.
That's because you guys don't know the difference between tactics and strategy, as you've shown multiple times in this video, and that the strategy is to make Russia and the world constantly aware that the Ukrainians are fighting on their own. And any support they have from other fighters is by those individuals deciding to fight in the country. And even the logistics are done on the other side of a border. You don't cross into the NATO territories because that's an escalation. We're not crossing into their country, bringing stuff in. We're not even trucking shit in. You got to come get it and then you bring it in yourself. There's a reason why you announce it to the world.
Are you trying to avoid war, or are you trying to?
Yes, they are trying to avoid war. Because if they don't announce that they come into Poland and they're being trained by our special forces and then they're going back, the idea is that the people coming back in aren't Ukrainians, they're Polish soldiers or U.S. special forces going in.
To escalate it. I mean, there's
I just don't understand what policy or what changed their mind from we can't send over a plane to Poland if Polish leave their planes in another country and Ukrainians find those planes and fly them.
Because there's a difference between a MiG and an F-15 or an F-22, you stupid bastard. Our planes are way better than those MiGs, and we're not going to start giving Poland our planes, which they've always wanted, but no, you got to pay for them. We're not lend-leasing them in a bank shot because they're like, we'll give them all our MiGs if you guys give us a bunch of your planes. Like, no, because if any of our planes end up going over the border and some of the other shit that you're doing, they'll have them and they'll reconstruct them. They'll de-engineer them.
We're sending tanks and howitzers over.
Nope. I'm not letting you drift to the fucking book title. I'm not going to do it. Piss off. You egomaniac. If you had only put the title above your own goddamn name, you'd sell a lot more books. But that's a strategic decision that tactically your publisher probably disagreed with, but you overrode them because you're a huge dum-dum. Speaking of huge dum-dums, Lindsey Graham has something to say. Now, by the way, you're watching HAL Sparks Mega Worldwide. I know I'm going long and my cat hates it. Where is it? Chip, where'd you go? You went outside. He wants a snack. And I know I'm over time, but, well, I'm not technically tonight because I've got 20 more minutes. I'm good because I started late today. It's Thursday. It's all slamming together. It's just how it works. Beg your pardon. So, Lindsey Graham has a message. Says Taiwan has a message for the American people. Now, we'll explain in a second the weirdness of this. So let's see. I want to see how this thing starts off. This isn't that long. Oh my God, was that? I thought I saw Judge Janine in there for a second, but maybe it was just there it is. It's that one. The next one, BLM never expected this, is the next video that they want me to watch. No. All right, here we go.
Senator Lindsey Graham, the great state of South Carolina. Sir, how are you? Good to have you back.
I'm through. I'm done. Count me out. It's just me and some old Wiccan woodwork that I bought at a shop down here in the Carolinas.
You recently got
Glad
back
to be back.
Glad to be here. From the, I don't like being in Taiwan. The food, I tried that Bin Lan and it did not agree with me.
Well, you recently got back from Taiwan. I've got to imagine that they are in a heightened state of alert based on the obvious, the fighter jets from China flying over their airspace fairly regularly, the talk of reunification.
Now, you can see the look in Lindsey Graham's face, having just come back from there, that he knows that Sean is speaking hyperbolically and thinks that they're flying over the island instead of like this tiny little corner of their strategic airspace way up on the north. That's like right at the wedge where you're like, they cut the corner a little bit just to go around, but they're more on their way to fuck with Japan.
By President Xi, that's not reunification. That would be a takeover of a sovereign country. And in light of the lackluster response of Biden in Ukraine, I'm not impressed particularly.
What do you mean lackluster response? This was supposed to be over in hours. The Biden administration is playing this as a bad hand, as good as you can play it.
I would say that the odds are pretty high that this is coming. Are we prepared for that?
Well, how Ukraine ends really will determine what happens in Taiwan. I believe that.
Right, which is why we are all in protecting Ukraine.
I went to Australia, I went to Taiwan and Japan. Afghanistan looms large. Everybody is doubting America's resolve after Afghanistan, but the fight the Ukrainian people are giving to the Russians has inspired the Taiwanese. They're about.
Yeah, it's almost like they've looked at our actual action and they recognize, oh, maybe you got out of Afghanistan so you could have some of this shit. And a lot of those munitions that were being wasted in Afghanistan, propping up a bullshit government that wasn't even going to fight for itself, might be better used in Ukraine.
About to change your conscription laws to make people serve longer, to go to a civil defense force. America needs to up its game in Asia. If you want to give China a...
to explain the AUKUS agreement to Sean, if you will.
Great gift. Destroy our economy by reducing carbon here in America by 50% by 2030 and do nothing to China and India.
Well, we're not doing nothing to China and India. We're reshoring factories faster than anywhere else and than any other country, actually. And we're shifting our consumer electronic base, our electrical base, homes, cars, and that kind of shit to renewables so that the fossil fuels we do use can be used for industrial purposes, for which there is currently not enough power produced by anything other than nuclear in a timely fashion for those kind of endeavors. As a matter of fact, it's a better use of our hydrocarbons, which we, by the way, also need for fertilizer. And since we're going to, fuck you, since we're already being cut off from the Russian fertilizer industry, we're going to need to use more of what we have here to make petrochemical fertilizers. Otherwise, the amount of food we produce will go down. But I don't expect him to know that. It's not like he's from a state that has farmers in it.
The Indian economy would flourish if we destroyed manufacturing in America and had $7 to $8 a gallon gas for the American consumer because of this religion called climate change. But I just got
this religion
back from Asia. There's doubt about America. I haven't seen this doubt since I've been in Congress.
Maybe it's only the people you talk to.
And we need to remove that doubt by giving more weapons to the Taiwanese, showing up in Australia as a more reliable partner, and
AUKUS agreement. Why didn't Trump do that? Do you guys not know? Like some people, I always have to consider that some people may not have been with us as long as some of you guys. So if I may, just for the record, this happened because Biden decided to do this. UK, US, and Australia launch pact to counter China. Nobody in Taiwan doesn't fucking know this. Everybody in charge, if they're just being nice to you or nodding when you're saying a bunch of bullshit, does not mean that they are nervous about our commitment in the area. Also, Japan is joining that, and he knows this.
Japan's expanding their defense footprint. We should.
Yes, because we asked them to, and we're cooperating with them, and we're working in joint security exercises, kind of like we do with the South Koreans, about the Russian control of their islands.
It encouraged that. So Afghanistan looms large, and Biden is there's a lot of doubt about America, and we need to remove that doubt if we.
Well, Lindsay, if we want to remove doubt about America, you have to stop going to Asia. I mean, if I was in one of those countries or the head of the country and they sent you, I'd be like, oh shit, he's one of the leaders?
We can't.
You know, I always talk about oil, gas, and coal being the lifeblood of the world's economy. Now, by abandoning the energy independence policies, that one of the great achievements of the Trump administration.
If I may. Give me a second. Hi. How are you? You good? You what? I'm sorry, what? March 8th, 2022. I'm sorry? You were saying? Oh, look at that. But this is probably a shit rag, some liberal thing that's just backing Biden that used to, it's Forbes, where Trump used to, the magazine Trump used to lie his way into the richest people in the world in. There you go. Surprise! Surprise, surprise, surprise. The U.S. is still energy independent. Last December, I covered the nuances of U.S. energy independence. A common belief that I encounter is that President Trump made us energy independent, but we lost that energy independence under President Biden. That's not strictly true, but it requires a bit of understanding about what energy independence actually is. I covered the issues these issues in Is the U.S. Energy Independent? A well-named site for article for doing that. And there's the definition of it. As I explained, a correct accounting would be able to add up all of our energy production, oil, natural gas, coal, renewables, and then subtract our net energy consumption. The U.S. is a net exporter of coal and natural gas, so it really comes down to petroleum balance. The U.S. net imports have been declining since 2005 as a result of hydraulic fracturing. That year, U.S. net imports of petroleum and petroleum products averaged 12.5 million barrels per day. By the time President Obama left office, the number declined to 4.8 billion. During Obama's last full month in office, the number was 4.2 barrels per day. When President Trump took over, the downward trend continued. During Trump's last year in office, the net import number turned negative. It is therefore true that we gained energy independence per this definition of net imports. Under President Trump, net exports in 2020 averaged 635,000 barrels per day for the year. They averaged. However, when COVID pandemic resulted in widespread stay-at-home orders, U.S. energy demand and energy production both plummeted. For the first 4 months of 2020, net exports averaged 1 million barrels per day. But in May, we had to start importing again. In May and June, the U.S. imported net 750,000 barrels per day. In the second half of the year, net imports once again became net exports. For the full year of 2020, the U.S. became a net exporter for the first time in modern history for the full year. In 2021, we oscillated between net imports and net exports on a month-to-month basis. In certain months, we were net importers and hence lost our energy independence per that definition. In other months, we were a significant net exporter. What wasn't clear was whether the U.S. would be a net exporter for the entire year of 2021, but the Energy Information Administration, EIA, recently posted the numbers for December, and we now have an answer. Net exports grew each month from September through December to push the final average for the year to net export number of 162,000 barrels per day. That's significantly down from 2020 when we weren't going anywhere, but it is still energy independent according to the net export definition. We had lost our energy independence several times on a monthly basis since May of 2020, but the full calendar years of 2020 and 2021 both turned out to be net export years. We are, there we go. And this is a graph, 12-month average of U.S. net exports of oil and products. And this is very small. It's not going to squeeze it down. Okay. The graphic gives a more nuanced picture of events over time. It shows our march toward energy independence stalled in 2015 and 2016. What happened in those years? That's when Saudi Arabia tried to put the U.S. shale drillers out of business by flooding the market with oil and collapsing the price. They did the same thing with Russia, and we intervened for on Russia's behalf and to protect the Saudis. Trump agreed to lower our production and the Mexican production, which taxpayers would give money to Mexico to get them to do. And during that time, we salvaged the oil market for the Russians and the Saudis while Trump was in office. We are still net exporters of energy to this day.
Maybe one of the top, because energy was so cheap and abundant. And
by the way, the lowering of the amount of imports to export, the number of barrels per day, was marginal. Obama brought it down by 4 million barrels a day. Or sorry, 8. He brought it down to $4 million barrels a day. He brought, for fuck's sake, Obama lowered the amount of imported oil that the U.S. takes in during his 8 years, a million barrels a day for 8 years.
I would argue that the geopolitical implications of abandoning those policies are felt not.
We didn't abandon those policies. That's bullshit. They're selling a line to you. If you're a maggot and you believe this, I'm sorry for you. You're dumb. This is the oil market price is a world oil market price. This has nothing to do with American oil strategy at all.
Not only in Ukraine, but it's going to be felt in China. And
yeah, you mean the rest of the world is going through the same fucking thing, and we're actually paying less for oil and gas than almost any other country on the planet?
We almost see a realignment of alliances in the world. Yeah. You see that Vladimir Putin and President Xi and the Iranian mullahs seem to be getting closer. That is an axis of evil that the world will have to reckon with one day if that happens.
Yeah. Can you imagine if the Chinese get the strategic minds of Russia and put them together with their shitty military gear and their boats that barely float? And then let the Iranians point what direction they sink.
Well, everybody's hedging their bets. Look at India. India is reluctant to take Russia on because they buy all their weapons from Russia. So without American leadership, we're the glue that holds the world together. People in Japan and Australia and Taiwan are yearning for Ronald Reagan-type leadership.
Oh, so not Donald Trump. That's what I think. He's running. He's running.
And the one thing I would say to the Republican Party, everything you say about the Democrats is true in terms of their policy, but I'm begging President Trump and the Republican Party to come up with an American first agenda that addresses the border, energy independence, inflation, a strong...
They do. We have a system for this. They're just using different tactics than you would use.
National security. It's not enough to complain about the other side. We need to have a vision.
Oh, he was talking about Republicans. I'm sorry. You're right. They have no plan. This is all bullshit. They don't care.
How we would change this country and restore order and make the economy stronger here at home. We need a positive agenda. It's not enough to run these guys down every night.
All right, so I want to ask you that.
Oh, look at that. Sean, you're fucking up. You're fucking up.
What we would do.
Yeah. What would you do?
Newt Gingrich has spoken to me.
I'm glad you're picking the keen minds, the guys who are on the cutting edge. I mean, did you ask him about Bitcoin while you were at it? What about cyber? Did you guys discuss cyber? Did he say that you can always tell the Russians by the noise it makes when you sign into AOL?
And Kevin McCarthy's coming up next about.
And are you going to ask? I think both of these guys are running from their descriptions of Trump post.
What would be
Yeah.
As of now, maybe the top 10 things that Republicans promise to the American.
I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't go to Rick Scott's. Hold on.
100% proof. That's the kind of thing. American people that
What the fuck was that? Oh, it's because I see. Sorry, that's funny. My soundboard is set on one of the other things.
This is going to reveal all the evil in our country.
Let's see. Scott, Republican plan to phase out Social Security. Which, when I say it, this is fine. Here's the thing. Okay, quit. How let's see right here. Here you go. Besides the fact that, dear God, is there another, like, just, are there scarier people they could get? Suppose for a moment that the head of the Democratic senatorial campaign, the group overseeing the 2022 campaigns of all Democratic senators and Senate candidates, announced that Democrats, if they keep congressional majorities after the November elections, would enact a plan that would raise taxes on working families more than $1 trillion over 10 years. Further, suppose this top Democratic official also pledged that the Democratic majority would sunset laws that provide Americans with Social Security, Medicare, military retirement benefits, veterans programs, unemployment compensation, student loans, deposit insurance, and more. Additionally, the Democrats would require U.S. businesses to shut down $600 billion a year in foreign trade and abandon countless billions in overseas investment. That's it. The cry would be socialism, defund tyranny. They might not even have the left to blame for President Biden for Russia's Ukraine invasion on high gas prices. Now back to reality. An outline, that's this thing. Hold on one second. Good stuff. Open link in new tab. Rescue America. I'm here to rescue America. 1. Our kids will say the Pledge of Allegiance. You don't have to read past it. Colorblind equality. We don't care if you're in a special circumstance. Somebody wrote, all cops are bad on a car and set it on fire, and then they photoshopped it across these folks over here to kind of create a situation. That's actually done in post, I'm guessing, the way it looks at feature crime. The soft on crime days of coddling criminal behavior will end. Immigration will secure our border. You've stopped reading by now. Growth economy. We will grow there, starve Washington's economy and stop socialism. Reduce the government workforce by 25% in 5 years. Sell government buildings and assets. Get rid of the old, slow, closed, top-down, government-run everything system we have today, which we don't have. Government reform and debt. We will eliminate all federal programs that can be done locally and enact term limits for federal bureaucrats and Congress, but not senators. Fair, fraud, free elections. Fair, fraud, free elections. Fair and fraud and free elections at the 4-H fair today. We will protect the integrity of democracy and stop the left-wing efforts to rig the elections. Let's hear voting rights, voter fraud, saying we won't allow the radical left to destroy our democracy by institutionalizing. Okay, great. Family. We will protect, defend, promote the American family at all costs through forced marriage and pregnancy, gender, life, and science. The men are men and women are women and unborn babies could be both. Yummy, yummy. We're really the pedophiles that we warn you about. We believe in science. That's why we think that God creates the weather and protects us from climate change by making the skies sacred. Religious liberty and big tech will have a Twitter church on every Sunday. America first. We're Americans, not globalists. America, you suck. Okay, so back up here. Sorry. It deserved it. Government reform and explore point 6. What would be these? Look at this. They're going to attack our own capital. This looks like a graphic the Putin would put out. Enact term limits for Washington's ruling class. 12-year limits for Congress and government bureaucrats. Exceptions for national security reasons only, which would be all of the Senate, I'm guessing. Begin paying down the debt. Debt equals politicians stealing from our future. Okay, we're already paying down the debt. Forbid politicians from becoming lobbyists and cashing in on their public service. You might have trouble passing that past the Republicans. Eliminate federal programs that can be done locally. Okay, we saw that. Move most government agencies out of Washington and into the real world. All right. Sell off non-essential government buildings and assets and land and use the proceeds to pay down our national debt. Yeah, so they'll have a yard sale. To who? China? All federal legislation sunsets in 5 years. If a law is worth keeping, Congress can pass it again. That's what they're talking about. All legislation sunsets in 5 years. All of it. That's Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, everything about it sunsets. You got to have a vote on it every year. And all it takes for one law to be held up is Rand Paul to go, fuck Social Security. And it's done forever. It collapses. It can't even be passed with a continuing resolution. It's like basically every law in the books would have to be, I suppose, even the criminalization of crack and fentanyl and all those kind of things like that. I mean, there's a Rand Paul dream right there. Let it sunset. Everybody has to vote on it. And then one guy just filibusters it. He doesn't even have to do anything. He could just put an anonymous hold. All government bids and contracts should be publicly available on the internet. Yeah, I think it's great that other countries can have a searchable database of all of our military gear and who makes it and where they live. If government fails to comply with the law, citizens must have the right to sue to force them to comply. They already have that. No government redress of grievances. It's already written into the fucking... I love when they make promises for shit that already exists and then they're going to discover it. Like, look at this. Let's see. We will bar the federal government from using your tax dollars for advertising campaigns. Get the big heavy hitters things. We will drastically simplify... And by the way, that's around like vaccination. That's them trying to stop vaccination information. We'll drastically simplify the tax code, eliminate the advantages. We will immediately cut the IRS funding and workforce by 50%. So if you want to commit tax fraud, I mean, they won't even have the strength to go after Trump.
They would do something like a contract with America.
Yeah, it's almost like they did exactly that, and it fucked up the whole thing. Everybody ran from it. It's called Rescue America.
I like the idea, and I'm only going to support candidates that support America first, save America, make America great again policies because they work.
But by the way, just the label. So if a program or a system works, if it's not called MAGA, somebody doesn't put a stamp of America first on it, you don't support it, like Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid. Those weren't MAGA programs. Those aren't Medicaid. Those aren't America First programs, right?
And they worked, and they will work again. All of the problems Joe Biden has, Senator, are preventable and fixable. But we need the right people in power to do it. So is that something that the Senate will also go by?
Wait a minute. What the fuck was that noise? Hold on. Whose belly gurgle was that? Listen.
Power to do it. So is that something that the Senate will also go by?
Did you guys hear that? Please listen again, very quietly.
Power to do it. So is that something that the Senate will also go by? Will you sign?
What is happening? Did a teeny little motorcycle just drive by in somebody's colon? What the fuck was that?
So is that something that the Senate will also go by? Will you sign a pledge if there's 10 items that you agree with?
Well, Newt's brilliant, and Kevin's been a great leader, and he's going to be Speaker. But Donald Trump is the leader of this party, not Kevin McCarthy, not Lindsey Graham, not Newt Gingrich.
Based on the America First agenda.
I'm hoping soon he will lay out a positive agenda.
Yeah, it's 2 weeks from now. Yeah. As agenda fails, Dems' midterm anxiety sinks in. I don't know, not so much. I'm feeling less anxiety all the time. I mean, there's a generalized anxiety because of the war and because of gas prices, just as far as people's experience, but not one that lays at the feet of Democrats. And if you guys run into a situation where in 4 months from now, gas prices and stuff start to go down at the end of summer, and you guys can't articulate how you would actually lower the prices worldwide.
Here's what I would do at the border. Here's how I would secure the border again.
With he's going to take the slat fence, build another slat fence, offset it to make it a solid wall this time, because that was a fucking mistake.
Remember me, I'm the guy that controlled the border. Here's what
all I did was ignore COVID until it was horrible, so much so that even people in Mexico stopped seeking asylum in the United States because it was more dangerous here.
I would do to deal with Russia and China. Here's what I'd do to rebuild the military.
Thank you, Mark, for re-upping with Prime. Yay! Subscribe on Twitch today. All right.
Terry, and here's what I would do to make us energy independent and lower inflation.
We are energy independent, and we're not experiencing inflation. This is supply shock.
President Trump has proven he knows how to do these things.
In what way?
He needs to remind the American people of what we did in the past and what.
Yes, you mean the part where he was like, "She's got this handled. What virus? It's all fake. Maybe put a light bulb up your ass." He needs to remind people of that.
What we can do in the future, and it's about the future. The election is about the future.
Not about 2020. He needs to stop talking about this shit. And
if this is a policy debate, we'll kick their ass.
If it's a debate about 2020.
If it's a personality debate, we might lose.
Oops. And there you have it. Because there is no policy. There isn't one. They don't have one. Open up the spigot for oil and gas is not the answer, because we're 1 million barrels away nationwide, or worldwide, near max capacity as far as what's in the market.
Oh, I'll take the guy with the mean tweet. So it was actually that the world, that the hostile regime leaders feared, and whose policies led to prosperity, over the guy that doesn't know that today's Wednesday.
Yeah, well, again, this is he's a doddering old fool who's ahead of a big hill. In the next segment with McCarthy, no doubt he will say something along the lines of Biden runs a crime syndicate.
Okay. Kind of not a hard choice.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you have one vote and you're welcome to it. And that's America. And I'm for it. And I will be. And by the way, Biden's not on the ballot. And Trump's not going to be reinstated. They're not going to decertify anything, fucko. You're stuck this way. House and Senate. That's what's up.
Yeah. Anyway, Lindsey Graham, thank you. Hey, Sean Hannity here.
Again, I don't even know what was said in that bullshit. Can I need to check something real quick, if I may. By the way, you're watching HAL Sparks Mega Worldwide. I do these things in their entirety. So occasionally when you have a situation where, let me see, maybe they pulled it down and then they put it back up in edited form or something. Hold on. Let's just. Nope. Let's see. Let's go to their network. I'm having such a good time. This is so awesome. I can barely stand it. Nope. They put them up and then they take them down. Yikes. Yep, nothing. They do have they do have, I will say, RSBN has more subscribers than Glenn Beck does. And it's all this Father Frank Pavone shit. Except for the Trump rallies, which they post up and then they send people there. And then they do these, they live stream these press conferences because they always have a camera there. And then it's this dude praying for America with Frank Pavone. Creepy as shit. But the rest of the time they do, there's Katie Arrington at the Save America rally. Yeah, this is all this shit. The People's Trucker Convoy enters the Beltway. Hey, remember when that was a fucking story? Man, it's like we're going back in time. Oh, shit. Getter VP of Marketing. What?
Kaylin, go ahead and have a seat. We are live right now. So, yes.
Yes.
Here is your...
Hi, Kaylin. How are you? Is that... Oh, that's... Is this the Kaylin that was lost at the fucking Gen 6?
Mike? Oh, no problem.
Yeah, take off your credentials. That's just not... I mean, it'll interfere with the Yeti snow mic, which they have painted or added a gold ring to on their own.
Huh. So I don't
and they're not using.
think I've done
Just a prop.
an interview with you face to face yet.
I don't know.
I want to know about the the behind the scenes of Getter. Don't you?
We actually haven't met face to face yet, so this
Until
is kind of a
today.
big deal.
Yeah.
Grace is a must.
Love, exciting and new. Come aboard. We're disgusting you, the love show.
Follow on Getter. You're an incredible
thanks,
follow.
Kaylin.
You're posting good stuff. And
Can I?
of course, we love everyone here at Right Side. You guys having fun so far? Or?
We are having fun. We just did my first interview of the day.
It's so fun. We're having such fun. That's the great thing about this thing. It's so fun. I mean, this is kind of fun.
With DC Drano, and now...
Is that the Caden? Yes. I don't think it's that Caden. It's a different one.
You're the second interview of the day, so...
This is K-Len. We were looking for K-Den. K-Den is still missing. He disappeared on Jan 6, obviously scooped up by, some, right-wing child trafficker.
What?
Who is apparently, since, I just hope he can break free. Caden, if you can hear me, know that people are still looking for you. And you must, if you can find your way to a phone, whatever they're telling you that they have people everywhere just isn't true.
What?
Yeah, most of those people are in jail in the DC County right now. You're fine. Just, Caden, run for it. Run, Caden, run.
I'm honored.
Yes,
That's huge.
yes, it is
That's
huge. And Getter is huge. Tell us about what's been going on with Getter.
Yeah, tell us what's happening with Getter. What's Getter got? It's Getter got. Let's go.
Absolutely. So,
Uh-huh.
I'll sum up a couple bullet points. We're nearing 5 million users.
Wow.
Big deal.
Yeah,
right?
it's massive.
That's huge. It's the same people that are on everything else, but okay. You've got the entire social media website has almost as many subscribers as Russell Brand's YouTube channel. And let's see. Hold on one second. May I? Point of order, Mr. Chairman, if I may. Let's see. Let's see. So, let's see. Here's the, Getter has almost 5 million users. Okay? Getter, the whole site, everybody. Trump fans, yeah, all this, so let's take a look at the most subscribed to channels on YouTube. By the way, don't forget to like and subscribe. I would like to hit these kind of numbers one day, and I need you to do it. Spread me. Ooh. That sounded weird. T-Series, which is a Indian company. Coco Melon, which is nursery rhymes at 128 million. Set India, another one. Big in India. PewDiePie, there you go. Here's our first individual YouTuber. He's got 111 million subscribers. Getter has 5 million. All the people talking to each other. Same number as Parler. I mean, Truth's fallen off a fucking cliff. But PewDiePie has 111 million subscribers. Mr. Beast, 90 million. That dude has a chain of restaurants that he's built just based on the money he's made on YouTube. 90 million. Kids Diana Show, I have no idea. Like Nastya, Anastasia Razitskaya, like Nastya, is only 8 years old, but she's already amassed a fortune through YouTube with her videos that captures the attention of the world. Her parents funded the videos from the family savings account, which went from toy unboxing to amusement park visits, and the success of the channel helped them relocate from Russia to Miami, Florida. Just in fucking time. WWE. 85.5. The Music Company is doing well. Vlad and Nikki. There's a lot of Russians on this stuff. Oh, this is the people. Yeah, the Russians that exploit their kids are huge. This is they're the number 10. Vlad and Nikki. Series for kids. They live in Miami, Florida with their parents. It's the same parents who do the other. Is that little, what's her name's? Little Nastya? Little Nasty A. That's going to turn bad when they're up there. But they hit those subscribers. There you go. So 5 million. You guys are going to change the fucking world. I mean, I know, how dare I? At my little 32K. By the way, like and subscribe. I'm trying to hit 100. Come on. We can do this. I know we can do this. Just hit the subscribe thing. You don't even have to come back. I'm kidding. You will.
We just last week launched in beta I'm calling it the TikTok killer. So we've got a...
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Your 5 million person site that caters to right wingers is going to be the TikTok killer.
Competitor to Reels.
Yeah. And yeah. I mean, obviously it's going to wipe out Reels.
And TikTok that's coming out. It is.
Yeah. I mean, combined over 1 billion subscribers use those features, but hit it.
Freaking awesome. Now
it's freaking awesome. Hashtag freaking awesome.
I'm not good at TikTok. I don't know how to do the dances or anything.
So I'm the perfect guy to create a site that will compete with.
So I don't know how to create content.
You'll have to create your own getter dance.
Do people still dab? Is dabbing still a thing? Has anyone dabbed live on?
This guy's bar game is off the fucking charts. There is no way. Hey man, that suit is you. You'll get some leg tonight for sure.
Start broadcasting?
No, you can be the first.
I'm the first guy to dab. Is this how you do it?
That's how you do it.
No, it isn't. Yeah. You need both arms.
Good.
I can confirm.
Millennial approve.
No, you can't.
Millennial approve.
Did it wrong. You're both millennials.
So we went ahead. We launched that last week in beta. We'd love to get you guys onboarded to do that.
Absolutely.
We're still doing our live streaming. We're still killing it. Actually, Jason Miller is abroad right now. In the midst of all the Ukraine stuff, he's
live streaming right now, opposite what they're doing. So basically, while they're on the air, he's on, basically trying to draw audience, and you're bringing that up as the marketing person. Smooth. I'm just saying, I don't think you're getting laid.
In France and the UK, which has been pretty crazy. So he's actually there on the front lines.
One thing I've noticed about getters,
the front lines of France and UK. He's on the front lines of cheese and tea.
You guys have been doing a lot of live streaming and news that is more worldwide.
Yeah, and actually, you guys are great. Right Side actually owns the most viewers live stream record on Getter.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is all because of you guys. So continue to tune in. I think we're live there right now for CPAC.
I hope so.
So I actually have Getter open right here because I'm
oh my God, yeah, we are.
I'm posting articles and doing CPAC at the same time. So making sure we get our content up. But you are a rock star too. Every time.
What? She has to do this shit by herself? RSBN, you cheap sons of bitches. Pastor Frank gets all kinds of support staff. And you throw her to the wolves at CPAC?
We need any little thing from you guys. You guys are right on it right away. Like Caitlin,
yeah, it's almost as if they don't have a lot to do.
I need a meme with my face on it. It says Getter.
I mean, that's the thing, right? Is Twitter would never in a million years do any of the kind of community building that we try to do here, right?
What? The fuck are you talking about? Well, I mean, it is obviously campfire songs are easier when there's only 9 people around.
Like if you wanted to talk to someone at Twitter,
you could look them up, and you could follow them. They could follow you back. You can DM each other. You can also create a list and put them on it. You can join groups on there now.
How would you even do that? Like, you can't do that. They're not going out. They're not doing interviews like this. They're not mixing and mingling with people.
Yeah, they don't have to.
You don't see them at trade shows. They go to lectures, right?
Right.
And so
why would Twitter be at, like, okay, if you have to go to a trade show to explain your social media network to people, you're already in trouble.
I think that's what really makes us different. We're just trying to capture the heartbeat of the movement and give everyone, a place to organize. Again, like.
Okay, so you're a low-res fringe website for Trump sycophants. Yeah, it's easy for you to build community because that's all you want. You're a single community site.
When you feel like you're alone, they're winning, and like we can't have that.
Yeah.
That's right. I mean, white nationalists and the guys at Stormfront, I'm sure, feel the same way.
Absolutely, and I
always felt so alone, and then I posted something hateful and grotesque, and the response I got back was so heartwarming. And I went over I met one of my friends online, and I went to his house, and I obviously waited across the street for like 2 days, slept in my car to make sure he wasn't FBI. And then I, of course, checked the perimeter to make sure there were no buried gas containers that had children hidden in them for any kind of like adrenochrome farming. And then as soon as I was assured of that, I went to his house and I introduced myself that I knew him from Getter, and we hugged each other. And I stayed the night. I got scabies, but I was on ivermectin already, so.
I love the little feed that you guys have right here on the right-hand side. If you guys go to that, it's a Getter News, because you'll find all the most breaking news there.
That's right.
And
oh my God.
related to the trucker convoy, you guys have had a lot of
Oh, wait a minute. They even had the trucker convoy?
coverage on that.
Yeah, we actually sent someone out for the first days to cover the launch of the trucker convoy. Yeah.
That must have been what I saw.
Yeah. Good.
The launch. Were you there for the death of the trucker convoy? Were you there where the people were complaining that the dogs were pissing on the food?
A good friend of ours, Ian McMath, who works in our war room, was out there, and he just got in the.
You know, it's so funny. Like, I don't know why Twitter isn't out at right-wing organization gatherings doing community outreach with their war room.
Car and started driving around with the truckers, and he had a lot of fun. And
cool.
I mean, it's absolutely incredible. And what makes the news section so great is that it's kind of all done by hand for the most part.
Oh yeah, really? You don't have to have an algorithm do it or anything like that. It's not that complicated. It's just some jagoff at the office picks right-wing stories that he likes and just clicks them, right? And he just stays up all night going, "That's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good one. Trump. That's a good one. That's a good one. Trump and Piers Morgan. That's a good one. That's a bad one. That's a bad one. That's a bad one."
Yeah.
So there's no censoring it, and there's no algorithm to hide behind, right? Because for years, what makes us so much different from like a Twitter is they can hide behind whatever.
The enormity of the organization is what you're looking for.
They put up and use it as an excuse to just do awful, awful things.
Mm-hmm.
And so we just try to be transparent.
Show me on the list of trending topics where the bad man touched you.
I go out there. I went to the bar the other day and interacted with literally everybody who was posting at me at the bar. So again, if you're watching, I'm at Kaelan, Kaelan. Post, mention me, and I'm going to go through here in a minute and just start interacting with you guys, because you're not going to see that.
Yeah. You're not going to be able to see that at Twitter because it's fucking creepy.
That on Twitter. You're not going to see that anywhere.
You're not going to see it where I could just like walk up to strangers and go, "Hey, you just added me. That was me. Yeah, I've been standing here the whole time. You smell like cedar."
No, you'll see the CEO come on there and say, "We're going to crack down more," but
Seriously.
they won't
Yeah, does anybody even say anything else on Twitter these
talk
days?
to you.
No, and they think so little of us that they just kind of do it out in the open at this point. It's true.
Why would they think so little of you? You have almost 1/16 the number of subscribers that Mr. Beast has on YouTube alone.
Really just disgusting.
Absolutely. It is disgusting. So where do you see Getter going a year from now?
Yeah, so obviously we'd love to get
We're eventually going to get her going.
this TikTok competitor up and rolling and try and find. It's really crazy to think about how we don't even know what great conservative content creators exist.
Right.
Because they've been algorithm out of existence.
Right, yeah. They've been stuck over on BitChute and Uncensored.tv and Rumble, and they actually are on all the fucking time.
So we could find the next big people all on Getter, and that's
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's basically a launch pad.
something that really excites me. But even further than that.
All right, I'm done. I don't care. Like we just happened upon this. I have no reason to keep listening to this stupid interview. I had no idea Getter had so few fucking people on it. That's kind of the amazing part. Jesus. Now, by the way, don't forget to like and subscribe. Give a thumbs up. Support the show in any way you can. Especially just, like I said, if you're on any of the other sites, if you're on Facebook, hi, Facebook. You guys have the most trolls among you. Sorry about that. That's gotta suck a little. But I appreciate you showing up in that, like, haze, that pea soup fog so thick of trolls you could cut it with a knife. I appreciate you making your way through it. Let's see. I'm going to... It's so weird. Because I was looking at some other stuff. Hold on one second. I want to grab something if I may. I moved everything to one keyboard, so I like my worry is that I'm going to keep on keeping on and go like, oops, I didn't mean to click on that. That was my mistake. Rats. Oh, where it is. There it is. I lost one of these. Yes. Now,
January.
Hold on. Comedy. The Senate. The Roman Senate is the greatest political body that money can buy. The corruption starts at the street. All right. All the way up to the emperor. All right. This is I've always wondered, you know how we're so used to being told what to think on the right, by the right. I'm always curious what the right thinks, if at all. And I also want to see the sense of humor. What tickles the funny bone of a right-winger? Because there might be one in my audience one day, and I don't hate people. I may hate policies, I might hate ideas, but I try not to hate human beings unless they physically directly harmed another human being. It's a thing, or caused them to be harmed. That's, it's where it gets a little charcoal gray. But this one, Rep Green, I find this hilarious on Greg Kelly. So this might be the one time we get to see Greg Kelly when he's not miserable. He's got MTG on, so you know what that means. Excitement. And hopefully, fingers crossed, possibly, we don't know. Who can say? Who can say? He might, this might be his one moment where he might feel like he's going to seal the deal.
January 6, 2021. We know now that this has been completely overblown, and so many great...
No, it hasn't, but, well, we continue. No, fuck you. Overblown. You're literally showing people climb through broken windows.
Serious questions have not been answered. Like, why did so many cops let people inside? Why?
Because they were moving them away from vulnerable people by saying, yeah, you can come in this way, go that way, come in this way, go that way. Because you knew you could get them out through an area where they were sequestered away from vulnerable human beings. When you are overwhelmed, that is a tactic that works.
Why are so many people in jail who didn't hurt anybody or break anything?
They aren't. Everybody who's in jail hurt somebody or broke something. Fuck you. Or said they would, or threatened to, or couldn't make bail or whatever because they had other shit going on. And they were like, oh yeah, hey, this guy, we filmed him breaking and entering into the Capitol. He also stabbed somebody in a bar fight in Oklahoma. Can you guys hang on to that fucker?
Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Green, she was a brand new member.
Look, these fuckers are breaking glass just to break it. The fuck are you showing?
Of Congress on this day, and her whereabouts are totally accounted for. She was in a room with many other members. She wasn't doing anything. However, she has been labeled by some an insurrectionist.
Yeah. Because of the lead up to it, dumb fuck. Also, I don't know if you've ever heard of this idea, but sometimes when people plan an attack, they often, especially if they think themselves to be strategically inclined, will have someone on the inside going, yeah, she's in this room right now. The person you're looking for happens to be in the same room I am. I'm also a friendly. I'm wearing pink sleeves today, as we agreed on.
And they want to use that label, insurrectionist, as a tool to keep her off the ballot when she's up for re-election. It seems totally crazy to me, but the effort has gained some momentum. First, let's walk. Granted,
For the record, being a pleasant fellow bus rider is also crazy to Greg Kelly. So put that in and categorize that together.
Welcome back, Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Green, Republican from Georgia. Welcome back. How are you, Congresswoman Green?
Hi, Greg. Thanks for having me on tonight.
You bet. You bet. So look, when I
you bet. So good. Whatever. And you're in the lobby of a Hojo's in Georgia.
First heard about this a while back, I didn't really worry about it. It seemed far-fetched, but I see a judge has kind of given this thing the green light.
Kind of. You just sucked the wind out of her sails.
Are you worried? And who the heck has the legal authority to label you falsely an insurrectionist?
Well, people can make that claim, and then they have to go to court to prove it in terms of you doing this. And also, she's going to testify, I think, tomorrow. We're covering that. Just I don't care what time.
Well, I think that's the most shocking part about it.
So shocking.
I've never been charged. I've never been convicted. I've never even been accused. I've never been questioned.
That's false. She hasn't maybe in a court yet, but she's about to be, or questioned about it, and her coordination with those people. If her texts come out and they don't think it meets the level of being able to charge her with insurrection, just participating in it or trying to help it a little bit, help it along, would be enough to kick her off the ballot using that law. So, fuck you.
Questioned by the January 6th committee or anyone else about my actions and what role I played on January 6th, because everyone knows the truth. Everyone knows as a member of Congress, I was involved in the electoral count, as all of us were. And all I did was object to a few states.
Yeah, what'd you do before that? And you objected to a few states to slow down the process so those people would have a time to attack. And in the process of them having time to attack, could possibly hand the government over to Donald Trump when he didn't deserve it. And so that's exactly it. You're just admitting that you were a coordination point.
For Joe Biden, objected to his electoral college vote. Well, apparently this funded attorney group who is from New York and Massachusetts.
You know what that means? Jews and Catholics.
And ironically,
teaming up again.
They're called Free Speech for People, which I find hilarious as they're...
Oh, that's the thing she finds hilarious. See, I thought there was going to be genuine laughter. I'm very disappointed.
Trying to take this effort to take my name off the ballot, rip it off the ballot, and steal my district's ability to be able to reelect me, which they very much want to do.
Now, that's because the Republicans won't allow anybody to primary you. So do they really have a choice? As Republicans, do Republicans get a chance to go through a primary with you? No, they don't. Yeah.
So these are people that hate the people in my district. They hate.
Well, no, I don't. I think they hate a person in your district, possibly. You.
Hate the way I fight for the things that we care about, like
giving the government back to Donald Trump so he can reign over it like the Lord that he is.
Secure borders, ending abortion, protecting our Second Amendment, a strong...
Yes. I love when they tie those two together. Protect our Second Amendment and saving the babies so that they can grow up and be shot later. Also, Greg, just pretend. I mean, I know you're staring at her and you're going, her face and her neck are different colors. That's normal. That's okay. That happens sometimes. But you seem perplexed. Is it the Adam's apple?
American economy and energy independence for America, not dependency on China.
Yeah, we don't get oil from China. I'm just saying.
But these are the things they hate about me because these are the things that they...
I'm a conservative wife, mother, and businesswoman who 100% stands with President Trump against the left-wing socialists who want to wreck our country. Marjorie Green. Ha! Hello! Ha!
Hello, sign up. Give me, I'm spending money hand over fist. Help.
They usually fund like voting for illegals. And then
Like voting for illegals. Yeah. Now, have you guys written your, by the way, all super chats today will go to my Funding for Illegals campaign, which I know what you're saying doesn't exist, but that shouldn't stop you. Fund those illegals with a $6.66 super chat.
and they fund this group, Free Speech for People. Well, here's the funny thing about it, Greg.
Okay, let's see. Okay, this is the funny thing. I was shopping for ammo the other day, and I was like, what are these? And he's like, you have bullet lipstick? And he's like, no, don't put those near your face. Those are real bullets. They're red tipped, because we got the pigment of dead people, don't ask how. It's actually adrenochrome. It's the only thing that can kill the cabal.
Out of over 700,000 people in my district, they found 5 voters that were willing to do this. And one of
I think that's all they needed. It's like finding your keys in the last place you looked. Who the fuck keeps looking once you found them?
them happens to be the Democrat district chair for my district.
So that was an easy first call.
You can see this is nothing but a political witch hunt and is
Good. I wish I could take my hand and
absolutely insane that I'm having to do this.
Well, if they try to stop you this way, they're going to try to stop President Trump.
Yeah, we won't have to. He's going to step down. He's going to tell people that his doctor said he can't do it. It's just a grift right up to day one. As a matter of fact, he might actually announce the run, go for like 10 days, and then step out because of health reasons to start this idea that he's being attacked and he's got problems because we poisoned him. Novichok.
Obviously, that will be next. I don't think they're going to succeed. Again, even though there's talk about this in the Constitution, labeling you an insurrectionist, quite frankly.
There's talk about this in the Constitution? Is the Constitution getting chatty now?
Would be a lie. I know plenty about this, and the January 6th committee has even looked at you, and it's just not there. And you
hold that thought. We'll wait till she testifies, fucko.
Didn't do that. By the way, though, do you think part of this comes from you've been outspoken about impeaching Joe Biden? I think
no, that has nothing to do with it.
Nobody
takes that seriously.
You raised articles months ago.
No, she didn't. That's gross.
If Republicans take control, impeachment could happen, and you'd be leading that charge. Do you think that's part of this?
Well, I'm sure they were very unhappy that on his inauguration day, I introduced articles of it.
Actually, we all thought it was hilarious. I mean, if we're talking about an episode called "I Find This Hilarious," most of us found it hilarious. As a matter of fact, the fact that you did it on Inauguration Day showed how inserious you were. If she'd have waited 90 days, she might have even gotten a bump from it in Republican circles, but it was just embarrassingly, right out of the gate.
Impeachment on Joe Biden.
Even when I think a Democrat tried to impeach Trump on his first day or something, or fifth day or something like that, shortly whenever the next session was. And that was stupid too.
Of the contents of Hunter Biden's laptop and the role that we know.
I'm sorry, what? There is no Hunter Biden laptop, by the way. It doesn't exist.
Hunter Biden and his father played in corruption and business deals.
Yeah, you can't. You could never actually put any of the contents of that hard drive that Rudy bought in Ukraine from a Russian sock puppet up as evidence to impeach Joe Biden. It won't work. It will not qualify as evidence against anyone. And if it did, America would literally have the shittiest legal system on earth.
In Ukraine.
I mean, apart from, demilitarized zones and, territorially disputed areas.
And China and elsewhere. And this makes President Joe Biden compromised.
Yeah, it's weird that with all that compromise, he's still fucking Russia up and fucking China up. And all right.
And he should not be serving as president of the United States. So I'm sure they're very unhappy about that. And
by the way, she does the dead blink because she's simply stating things that she wants to be true. She's basically, the words coming out of her mouth are, I'm disgusted he's president.
Know this, Greg. They know that Republicans are taking back the House in next year after we win the elections in November, because they don't have anything to run on. They're running on inflation, skyrocketing inflation, high gas prices, and an illegal invasion at the border. So
the illegal invasion at the border, that's the other terminology they use. Like, what? They want to protect the Ukrainian border, but not our border. Like, we're having an invasion. Like, we have 140,000 fucking tanks on the border, or troops rather, with their tanks on the Mexican border.
They know we're winning, and they've seen.
No, you're not.
Me fight when in the minority, and I think they're terrified of who I might be.
Well, I think they're terrified that you might have planted pipe bombs. I think some of them might feel that way.
In the majority. So I need people to help me out. If anyone's willing to donate to MTG.
Yeah, I'm not. Nope. Yeah, sorry. 1 second.
For America.com. I need help to defend myself against this witch hunt.
MTG for
Hold on.
America.com. It's right there on the screen. MTG for America.com.
All right. Sorry. Sorry, I was just trying to.
We'll be right back.
That was it? The real reason Biden won't go to Ukraine. Has Biden made anything better? Well, considering they think that low unemployment is terrible for the economy because business leaders have to pay more to get skilled workers, they're probably fucking miserable. So I can imagine why they're freaking out. Okay, hold on 1 second. You're watching HAL Sparks Mega Worldwide, and I appreciate it. I'm glad you're here. I thank you. Hello, chat room. I adore you. Let me open up. Where am I? She has a bigger mouth than Mr. Ed. Oh, good Lord. Simmer. Oh, God, this woman is a mother. Yes, she is. And it's not her kid's fault. She likes a big rifle to shoot. She's a lot like her husband. Yes, Trump has to pay Omarosa. Shall we close out today's show with a little bit of fun news? I think Trump has to pay her... Yeah, the Trump campaign has to pay her legal fees. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Here we go. Yep. Trump campaign ordered to pay $1.3 million to Omarosa Manigault Newman in NDA case. All right. A court arbitrator has ordered former President Donald J. Trump's presidential campaign, obviously not his money, and the fucking Heritage Foundation. That's why I did the speech. They probably paid him $1.3 million just to do the speech so he could pay off this shit because he knew it was coming. And legal fees to Omarosa Newman, the former Apprentice star, White House aide, and author of the first tell-all book about the Trump White House. The award, handed down on Tuesday, concludes a protracted legal fight after Trump unsuccessfully sued her over the book Unhinged, arguing she had violated a non-disclosure agreement she had signed while working for his campaign in 2016. Sorry, asshole. Once you're president, all bets are off. Free speech, transparency, drain the swamp. Wait a minute. She said what? Shut it all down. Mr. Trump lost the arbitration case in September 2021, one in a string of failed attempts to enforce non-disclosure agreements against former employees. Since the decision, both sides have continued to dispute the size of the award. All right, I'm sure he'll fight it and fight it and fight it and be fighting again until. But if he let's see. In March, Mr. Trump's campaign was ordered to pay more than $300,000 in legal fees to a former campaign aide who said the candidate had forcibly kissed her. The campaign sued, arguing she had violated the terms of her non-disclosure agreement. The judge in the case called the agreement vague and unenforceable. Oh, that's adorable. This is March 18th, 2022. Trump campaign owes $300,000 in legal fees after another failed NDA case. Trump's president, which is based on gross misconduct by the candidate then turned president. had violated the terms of a non-disclosure agreement that she accused Mr. Trump of forcibly kissing her in 2016. The award accumulation of arbitration claim that was dismissed in November represents the latest instance of his failure of an NDA against an ex-worker. The resolution of the claim Mr. Trump's campaign filed in September came less than a year after he had lost similar efforts to enforce non-disclosure agreements against Jessica Denson, a former campaign worker, Omarosa, and Victor E. Bianchini, a retired federal judge, cited both of those cases in his decision on March 10th when he ruled in favor of Alva Johnson, a former campaign worker who in 2019 unsuccessfully sued Mr. Trump, claiming he kissed her on the mouth against her will during a campaign stop in August 2016. The campaign was invested in silencing other employees that were terminated or had somehow criticized the candidate in other ways. Adding the campaign's demand for arbitration appears to have been principally motivated by upholding its NDA and curtailing any criticism of the candidate. Liz Harrington, a spokesman for Mr. Trump, said the decision to award money to Ms. Johnson and her lawyers after a federal judge had dismissed her case was pathetic and totally contrary to the rule of law. Anybody can see that Johnson's blatant lies and bad faith conduct completely precluded her from profiting from her illicit conduct, where she positioned herself to be groped. She was really happy with the thing. Mr. Trump's lawyers wanted to handcuff me for 4 years. They came after me pretty hard. Her lawyer, Hassan Zavarij, said Friday that Trump campaign tried to use the non-disclosure agreement as a cudgel to silence what we viewed as an important public speech by one of the few minority campaign workers. Ms. Johnson, who is black, filed a federal lawsuit against Mr. Trump, accusing him of grabbing her during a campaign stop in 2016 and kissing her as she tried to turn away. I immediately felt violated. I remember this case. Apparently she's got to pay. She's got to. They have to pay her $300,000. What the heck? Page is moving on its own. It was totally creepy. It's totally scary. Anyways, fascinating. And then, of course, let's see. Let's go to. I mean, I got a little time. This is what happens when summer's working. So I'm alone in the house by myself with only the cats to keep me company. So, ew. Oh, get out. Oh, no, that's... Okay, sorry. I thought that I was all excited. I looked at Rumble and this is what came up. Nunes gives major update on Truth Social, April 21st. Not so much. I've shown you guys BitChute before. All right, I'm going to, why stocks got murdered. Why? COVID is their great reset. Oh, fucking hell, these people. Sports, science, vlogs. Unmasked. The Dinesh D'Souza podcast. Oh, good Lord. Matt Walsh, it's time to take revenge on Disney. Yes, go for that. Yes, attack Disney. Knock yourself out. Audience members at Harrisburg, PA show has a message for Jim Brewer. He's not a scientist. I see. Okay, that's the state of Rumble currently. Let me show you something else real quick. This is the creepier thing. Sorry. And this is the stuff that when I show it gets me kicked off the air. So I always have to be very careful what I show and play from there. This is BitChute. And it's the right-wing psycho gathering plus, I guess, the mid-level. Oh, hi, Chip. How are you? Are you still mad? Here, come here. Erp. Hi, buddy. I'll come feed you. I know, I'm running late. How are you? You're a sleepy boy. He's a sleepy boy. I'm dealing with net cases, weird end timers and preppers and crazy people. And I love you. I love you. Here you go. There are a few sites that... Hi, thank you. That's your tail. You gonna sit? Okay. You wanna sit down? You wanna lay down? You wanna lay down or sit down? What do you want? You wanna lay down? I'm sorry, I don't have bigger legs. Oh, good Lord. Dismantling the snake venom peer-reviewed paper, Amanda Volm. Okay, yikes. the White House, which is somebody else's site. It's not really the White House. Computing forever. That guy used to be on YouTube, I think. The Resistance 1776 emergency broadcast. What's happening? It's emergency. Emergency. Hold on. Oh God. Stop that. Quit it. Stop. That's what
we do here at InfoWars.
He's playing Unchained.
He is free to.
You jerk. You don't get to do that. No way. By the way, this is the bankruptcy sale. That's what they're having right now. All of this around you, you'll see, is for sale. You notice, to keep us on the air, I've had to sell parts of my mustache. There's a lot of stuff. Anyways, we've had to sell.
We still show you the research, show you the news, back it up, but still say, hey, you can trust us, or you can go look at what we're talking about, and you can find out if we're right or not.
This is that unvarnished truth that you get where they're like, put in all the legal caveats so we can talk shit the whole time by saying, hey, at the beginning, we kind of admitted that we're dumbasses.
But not everywhere is it like that. And so CNN really thought, with their abysmal audience numbers, and we have the latest ratings we'll cover later, they really thought they could launch an app that would be a form.
Really? CNN Plus? That's what you're going for? Hi, buddy. What are you doing? You're just mad. You want a snack, aren't you? You're getting hangry. Is that what it is? Yes. You totally are. He's getting hangry. He usually gets a snack at 5 as a growing boy. And he's like, dude, seriously? Look at this. Look at this. He's like, I will eat you, all right? I'm a cat. I'm not a dog. You understand? This is what happens when you have a cat. You got a cat will, if you die around your cat will eat you. A dog will lay next to you until rescuers show up and it'll be all sweet and someone will play Sarah McLachlan. But a cat will go, yeah, they were tasty and I liked them while they were alive, but I'm moving along now. I'm a cat. That's why we do as well as we do. Right, buddy? Right? Is this what's up? Hold on. Okay, I'm going to let everybody go. And then I'm going to, you and I are going to go upstairs and we're going to do a snack. I'm going to let you guys go because I'm already over time anyways. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I did promise him earlier, almost an hour ago. I'm sorry. Do you forgive me? You forgive me, Chipple? Is it okay? You're such a good boy. He's such a, he gets wily and does a lot of running around and stuff. All right, I'm coming. He's like, dude, seriously, now. All right, I'll let you go. He's very sweet. He's becoming more and more of a lap cat. Like he's growing into what kind of cat he's going to be as a full-grown cat because he's only like 8 months old. And Chips Ahoy. He's gone from I've got a chip on my shoulder to a chip on my lap. Just getting sweeter all the time. And it's like he now greets me at the door. It's super sweet. Yeah, especially if I've been gone all day and doing stuff and I come back, which is hardly ever because I'm either gone for full days at a time or I'm home all day because of the show. That if I leave, he's like, where have you been? He's like a dog. It's super sweet. Anyways, that's the chip update. I think we'll end on that because that's a good news, a good news piece. For the record, tomorrow, I will see what time they are planning on doing. I'm going to do my morning show, but I will see what time Marjorie Taylor Green is being questioned, and I'll grab C-SPAN and we'll use that as our as our viewpoint for it, and we'll do the whole Marjorie Taylor Green questioning if she's on camera. And if it's not made available till later or something, I'll do it at the regular time. And then we'll do other stuff. So, yeah. It'll be on video, yeah. You want a Molly update? I will try and... I'm going to have to bring her down at the beginning of a morning show at some point because she's got to be ready for it. Yeah. Wait a second. This... okay, right before I leave. Look at this. I just noticed this. This is their site, the Resistance 1776 band video, all this blah, blah, blah. War Room with Owen Schroyer. That's the dude who's, fills in for Alex. The InfoWars Money Bomb is now live until Friday at midnight. Nonstop broadcasts are loaded with special guests. Mark Dice, David Icke, Rep. Marjorie Taylor Green, and so much more. Share across all globalist-controlled platforms. Do not keep them on safe platforms. Most people on the platforms are already waking to the lies of the New World Order agenda. Okay, the money bomb that's so they can earn money off their people or whatever. I'm going to have to do a money bomb, but for CSL. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a CSL, get used to it. We're going to make that happen. We got to get that together. Call me. Okay. We need to powwow again. Otherwise, I adore you guys, and I really if you're going to watch the Johnny Depp gatherings that get to involve human fecal matter, enjoy that while you can. I'm working on it. I'm going to build on that. That's the start of my Johnny Depp. All right, I'm leaving you. I got to go feed the cat. He's going to eat me. You know what I mean?